What is up, Crossfire Philippines? At ito na nga ang ating last matchup of the day. Ako po si Sir Bipolar at ito nga naman si Sir Salvatore. It's gonna be one hell of a matchup makikita natin ngayon kasi kakaiba ito. It's FERVID and as well as Virtus.pro kung saan both teams now gunning it for that second spot or at least possibility of number 1. No? Yan ang pwede natin makita sa ating draw.
Yan, Sir Bipolar, no? Nothing more of a pressure point para dito sa side ng FERVID kasi nga they're on their route to playoffs, or are they really, no? Parang sa dami ng natabong talo nga dito ng FERVID na mula pa doon sa unexpected team, that being acceptance. Ngayon, nagkakaroon na ng onting taning ang FERVID kasi nga after this week, they will be facing execration and as well as a Rosea team if I'm not mistaken, no? So FERVID, they need to count their days, or kung makukuha na ito panalo ito sa Virtus.pro, baka pwede pa nga silang makita ng daylight sa punong dulo, no? And Virtus.pro, still a strong team sa laban nga na to, no? Fresh off their win against Atras, at parang mas palalaguin pa na Virtus.pro yung chances nga nila makapunta na EWC.
Tama ka dyan, no, Salvi? Pero kung meron tayong EWC na pinaglalabanan dito, meron din namang labanan ng ating community members. It's the 1v1 showdown na pwedeng subaybayan natin on July 9. It's the last man standing. It's the 1v1 showdown. And here's everything that you need to know. Here's the game mechanics. Salvatore, ano nga ba yan?
Okay, so we have destruction mode, tapos first to 10 lang to, guys, eh, no? It's a single elimination, best of 1, no extra rounds. Pag umabot talaga kayo ng 9-9, that's it, no? Pag talagang kailangan na natin ng winner, hindi na natin kailangan paabutin ng overtime. At ito lang naman yung mga weapons na kinakailangan nyo, eh, no? We have TRG, Colt 1911, pati USP. Knife, doon naman tayo sa mga normal na knife lang din, eh, no? Yung mga regular na variant lang din na ginagamit din natin sa mga CF balance, no? That being yung axe, yung kukri, yung jungle, yung normal knife, o kaya yung field shovel, kayo na nga bahala. Throwables nga natin, bawal tayo mag-smoke kasi masyado nang madugas kung ganun, eh, no? Flashbang and grenade, yun lang gagamitin natin. At kita mo nga naman yung mapa, no? Wala lang iba kundi lahat dyan nagsisettle sa loob ng TD ship, eh, no? Walang tanim-taniman, at syempre kung sino mananalo ng toss coin, kung di yung nagkakamali, siya ang pipili ng side. Pero men, sa mapa na yan, Bipolar, alam mo nang maraming naiwang bangkay dyan sa dami ng 1v1 sa mapa na yan.
Yun na nga, nung kaming pangalang ni Mochi, ginawa mo ng bangkay dito sa mapang to. So, yan din may kita natin dito sa ating 1v1 showdown, no? So, yeah, ship is gonna be interesting, no, para sa inyong lahat. Pero ito naman ating tournament structure where any players from the CFPH community, and yes, tama yan, kayo sa ating community ng CFPH ang pwede maglaro from CFS C Masters 2026 Summer and CFSPH 2026 Summer. Impact 2026 Summer as well can participate, actually are not allowed to join, no? It's all up to the community as well. And of course, tournament progression natin, qualifying rounds, guess what? Nag-start na po yan ngayon June 27, susundan niya ng June 8, July 4, and July 5. Then we go towards the quarterfinals kung saan I believe it will be on live sa July 9, semis, finals, and of course, yung ating sniper matchup as well. Ito na nga ang ating match schedule on July number 9. Tingnan nyo yan, 11 AM pa lang makikita natin elims niyan. It's round 32 rounds, tapos diretso tayo dito sa semifinals. Then we go towards the final matchup in 1 PM. Of course, to be decided pa rin naman, pero hopefully if umabot tayo doon, 3 PM magsistart ang ating top sniper match. Yan ang ano, abangan niyo yan sa July number 9 ng ating 1v1 showdown. Oras na para makita natin din ang ating highlights for the day. At ayun na nga, tingnan mo naman, Salvatore, on ship, eto na yung mga onti nating nakikita na mga players na nagpapakitang gilas from the snipers, from the USP. At eto na nga, in-expect ko baka marami mag-USP lang dito, Salvi.
No, syempre, pag bakanting-bakante talaga yung USP, no, tinan mo, nirarat-rat lang din nila. Baka parang hindi na ata to sniper showdown, ha? Papaalala ko lang, ang makakalaban nila dun sa top sniper match is yung top sniper from the preceding week, eh, no? So, either, ayokong magsabi ng pangalan, baka yumanig kagad yung mga balahibo ng mga tao dito, eh, pero sasabihin ko lang potentially si Zac, si Cetra, si Lance, si Revenge, si Ajax potentially, si Heck, no? Baka si Bipolar mismo, si Twentysim, no? Baka sakali pa nga, no? But nonetheless, no? So far, we're seeing some potentials naman dito doon sa mga naglalaro ng USP. Pero shoutout sa mga gumagamit pa rin ng Colt, ha? Honestly, it's a very underrated secondary. Shoutout sa mga nagmamalagokin, etc. dyan. Kita mo nga naman na very solid pa rin naman yung secondary na yun.
Yun ang ano, Salvi. Tingnan pa natin dito yung ating mga extra recaps. No? This time, we'll see the journey dito ni Atay GD, no? Kung saan ito ang totoong sniper. Never mind, naglabas bigla ng USB.
Shoutout sa mga kaklanmate ni Rio, no, ng Friday the 13th para dito kay Sukob. Yung ating makakaboga nga siya. Grabe. Parang si John Rio Barcoma lang din maglaro kung magboga lang din.
Totoo.
At nandito naman tayo kay actually sila pa rin. Alam ko lilipat na nga tayo. Si Ataya GD laban dito kay Sukob. So yun nga, sa isang malupit na shoutout nga pala ulit sa Friday the 13th na clan. Lahat mo nga naman, may mga pambato kayo dito para sa ating 1v1 ship show. Baka nga si Revenge, no, ang makalaban nga nila. We'll wait and see naman. Kasi marami tayong malalakas na snipers ngayon na feeling ko sana manalo na yung community ngayon.
Totoo, no? Last time kasi nakasama natin si KLP, pati si
Ellison.
Si Ellison, no? Si Ellison ang nakasama natin dun last time. Ang ganda ng matchup na yun kung saan very one-sided yung nangyari na hopefully manalo naman nating community members, no? Pero big shoutout sa'yo, Ellison, na hopefully you come back to the scene, my brother. But of course, oras na para dumiretso tayo dito sa totoong laban. It's time for FERVID and as well as Virtus.pro. Pero simulan natin yan dito sa VP, ang ating mga nagpuputing oso. And again, big happy birthdays or belated birthday dito sa kanilang CEO. Big birthdays to you, brother. And of course, Cetra, Elvin Kellar, KSA, yan and as well as si Yobi, yan ang mga kalaban ngayon ng FERVID kung saan nag-iinit si Cetra man. Nakita natin yung kahapon on Ankara and everywhere all around. Pumapalagyan together with Yobi.
Abeno, Cetra, his stats is just insane considering na noong mga nakarang araw nakalaban niyang Execration and as well as Atras, he has managed to score 1.91 KD para dito kay Cetra. It's always a high kill game para sa player nga na to, and big props to Yobib for now finally being back his golden boy form, no? Na noong mga nakaraan medyo nahihirapan pa nga siya, but clearly Yobib rather, no? Meron na nga siya nga magandang forma dito na I believe is a threat to a lot of teams kasi it kind of feels like Yobib has reached a certain meter na kung gaano ka-aggressive sila kasi feeling ko dapat ganun din kasunod dito si Yobib eh. So he's really reliable on the 1v2s and it's pretty much very good, no, para sa side ng Virtus.pro.
Yeah, tama ka dyan, Nasalbi. Alam mo, as a firm believer dito ni Yobib from the day number 1, talagang nakikita nga natin na si Yobib finally back into the form na pagiging Dark Prince and Golden Boy natin. Pero looking at the journey so far, they did lose up against Execration. Pero kung di mo natitignan yan, it's almost a sweep up, no? 2-0 dito sa matches, 2-0 dito sa acceptance, 2-0 dito sa Taring Babi, and 2-0 din dito sa Atras. After that win mula dito sa Atras, no, kahapon nga lang yun, parang, talagang natuto na dito ang Virtus.pro mula sa match spring and as well as sa qualifying stage. Again, ang pinupunto nga ngayon ng Virtus.pro is not just the trophy, it's not just the EW spot, pero ang maging standard ng buong CROSSFIRE Philippines.
Definitely, no? And Cetra said it best, they really want to achieve championship status at gusto nga nilang mapalago pa ulit ang pangalan ng Virtus.pro, no? And to quote a very, very amazing player and slash coach, no, ng dating Fairview Gaming Wolves, Coach 02, tinanong siya, this season will give the top 2 teams the EWC slot. Why do you think you deserve it more than the others? Ang sabi niya dito, and I quote, because we are still tactical superior than any teams in the tournament and we are to win an international tournament. And definitely, he is right naman. Binuo ang SGJ core nila, KSA, KLR, Yobib, pati na nga rin si Elvin to appear in international tournaments. Ginawa nila yon nung kasama pa nila si Tino and they did it once again nung kasama na nga nila si Cetra. So, he's not wrong. He's definitely right. Isa sila sa mga teams na kinakatakutan talaga pagdating sa mga plays bipolar.
Yun na nga, I mean, coming in for, parang never nagbago dito talaga yung vision ni 02, no? Kasi nung tinanong natin siya last time din na bakit nga ba kailangan manalo dito ng VP or at least get that EW spot, it's the same kind of answer every time. At yun na nga, no, this is what I want, what you want from a coach na talagang determinado sa kanilang goal. But right now, determinasyon din ang kailangan dito ngayon ng ating next team. It's gonna be FERVID ESPORTS kung saan Aris and his team needs a little bit more firepower here. Yes, they have it in the terms of Lunsty, A7J, Racer and MZ, pero again, with the recent losses, no, parang biglang may malaking question mark na tuloy sa harapan dito ng FERVID.
Yeah, it's not just any loss, no? It was literally a landslide of an experience para nga sa FERVID. Kasi akalain mo nga naman, pre, they got blasted by Dre as well as Silent. Nandi nga nila inaasahan, if I'm not mistaken, that sub-base did not even go as near sa loob nga ng inaasahan talaga ng FERVID, and that was FERVID. Prior to that game, pinanalo ang laban against Team Stallion sa loob ng mapa na yun. So there's this quite of crazy flowchart na nakikita nga natin sa season na to. No? Bipolar na si ganto, kaya talunin yung ganto, pero pagkatapat nila si ganyan, hindi na nila matalo si ganyan. Ang hirap i-explain kung ano yung naging experience ng FERVID nun, and right now this is a recovery season. What I mean is, babawi na sila ngayon for this idea na, okay, andito na si MZ, we need to be perfect and we need to prove to Virtus.pro na eto nga talaga ang pinakamagandang move na ginawa namin as a team, because they defeated Execration inside of Swiss, which really showed na yun yung pinakamagandang off-season move. They defeated Atras, beating their former player, that is J Kim. So what is there need to more to say para sa side ng FERVID? You know, they already had the moves, pero parang tila sa group stage na to, medyo sumasabit na sila.
Yun nga no? Parang eto na yung simula na nga ba to ng ating lose streak para dito sa FERVID, with them losing up against STS and as well at Acceptance. No? Kung sabi mo nga kanina, it was total domination din mula dito sa Acceptance. They did win up against matches Taring Bobby and as well as CBF, pero eto na, dire straits for FERVID. Even though dalawa pa lang naman yung talo nila, they need to prove a point here. They need to make a statement up against Virtus.pro, because if not, well, mukhang mapapajayo na lang ulit tayo dito kay A7J pati sa buong FERVID, because they need it very much clear. Yun na nga, journey for FERVID has been a win to lose ratio kung saan may isa pa namang angat dito ang FERVID, but they need to bounce back immediately dito pa lamang sa Virtus.pro.
And they need to do it with a very, very good last impression, no? Kung gaano nga nila sinabit yung sub-base ng Team Stallion, so they have to do it now in the Eagle Eyes and Ancaras of Virtus.pro, no? Pero eto na nga, no? Coach Aris. Hindi lang isang coach ang makukuha na natin ng quote. Eto nga pala si Coach Aris ng FERVID. Tinanong siya, tingin nyo, kaya bang gawin ng FERVID ang ginawa ng Execration? And I quote, oo, kasi nagbigay ng positive yun sa amin eh. Kung kaya ng Execration, kaya namin. Tinalo nga namin ng Exe, so kaya namin dalunin mga tinalo nila. I believe this was from week number 2 nung in-interview namin ni Mochi si Coach Aris, and I feel like yung statement na yun, parang sa ngayon sa ngayon, siguro kung hindi pa natin nakita yung laban ng Acceptance at Stallions, baka oo pa rin sagot natin, but it has reached a 50-50 situation right now dun sa sinabi ni Coach Aris, pero mali mo nga naman.
Alam mo, Salvatore, gusto pa ba na onting init dito sa labanan na to? Kasi na-interview natin last time si A7J off-stream, no? Or outside of the broadcast. Tinanong natin dito, outside of FERVID, outside of STS, sino pa nga ba ang talagang totoong target dito ni A7J? Well, sabi niya dito, Virtus.pro, kasi ayoko na mag-CF kapag natalo ko na team na to. Parang taps na agad yung journey pag natalo na to. So, tignan lang natin kung kakasanga ba yung sinabi dito ni A7J in this matchup. Pero, we do have our head-to-head here coming into our matchup alone, at ang may kita natin dito is gonna be Kellar and as well as A7J. Wow. It's the power of the IGLs, it's the minds as well.
Parang nakikita ako ng 1-to-1 picture no? Pagdating talaga sa mga numero, no? Kellar and as well as A7J. Parang onti lang yung lamang nila sa isa't isa, lalamang dito si A7J sa KD and as well as KR, pati na nga rin sa headshot per kill, but the smokes per round, I feel like mas valuable talaga yung pinoprovide na information dito ni Kellar. Both are fraggers in their nature, no? But when we're talking about consistency in attacking the sites, pati na nga rin yung mga mid-round adjustments, pwede mong sabihin yun kay A7J. But clutch potential, presence sa IGL, tsaka sa pagtulong dun sa pag-e-entry, no, I can definitely give KLR to that any time of the day. Kaya well played nga naman talaga tong head-to-head natin, no? Pinagtapat natin ang dalawang kapitan ng dalawang panig nga na to, because it really highlights the importance of a true leader, no? You can never really be too sure kung sino nga ba talagang leader ng tulad ng team ng Execration, pero dito merong absolute, merong pagsusundan, and both of these teams really do trust A7J and KLR respectively.
Yeah, let's see, no, kung talagang they trust them after this map veto. May kita natin dito ngayon kung ano nga ba ang lalaroan ng ating dalawang teams. 3 maps in your faces right now. They ban New Mexico, they ban Subbase, open ang Black Widow, pero baban niyang yon. Dadayo tayo sa new compound, pupunta tayo sa port, at saan kara pa tayo magtatapos?
I was surprised. Open ang Eagle Eye sa first phase natin. Open din ang Ankara sa first phase natin. And Black Widow as well, no? We had really many chances para piliin to ng both Virtus.pro and FERVID, pero tila sila din, no? Pare-pareho tayo dito sa ating casters desk and as well as panel na nagsawa na makita ang paulit-ulit na Ankara at Eagle Eye. Pinadaan na nga lang nila sa decider, baka sakali kinakailangan, but new compound, Grabe nga naman, no? A handful of times na napili nga to this season. Actually, kakapakita lang natin yun kanina. But right now, it's going to be prioritized by FERVID. The last time that we saw them play this, which I believe was against Atras inside of Swiss, no? And they will be starting GR side. This is very niche of them kasi pinili ng Virtus.pro magsimula sa weak side ng new compound, Bipolar.
I mean, feeling ko naman there's some sort of strengths din dito sa weak side ng new compound. Lalo na kapag FERVID yung naglalaro dyan on the GR side. Kasi I would like to say napakaganda ng GR side dito ng FERVID because all they have to do is put MZ dito sa baba ng tower tapos he will hold down the line and there will be players dito sa may EA to actually rotate. Isa na doon sa E7J and they might just have this kind of niche factor in terms of strategies para makuha dito yung ating first half. Pero Port, man, that is a question in itself. No? Kasi sinabi nga rin natin dito, nung impact stage pa lang, Ares and as well as Lance played this so well kung saan they dominated that as well. Pero Ankara, yan, parang maganda tayo pupunta dyan. But, eto na, mukhang mag-iinit ang laban natin lalo kasi we'll be looking at our predictions from the caster and the panel desk. May kita natin dito ngayon, it's a clean 2-1 pero ako ang nag-iiba. I am favoring towards FERVID. Meanwhile, 3 of our talents here will be favoring towards VP.
I feel like though, despite what happened last week, I feel like dito pa rin talaga magre-reflect yung preparation ng FERVID rather, no? Kasi FERVID has been preparing these kinds of matches against Stallion, so hindi na to bago para pagpreparahan din nila ang Virtus.pro. So I'm kind of sensing na dahil pinili nga nila yung new compound, they want something new out of Virtus.pro, but they do also have a new compound. Di lang nila siguro pinapakita ngayong taon. So yeah, they definitely had something in mind nung nakuha nga nila yung new compound nga na to instead of probably an eagle eye on the first set. Pero man, it is going to be a very deadly match. No? Mahirap sabihin na magkakaroon tayo ng sweep dito, no? Bipolar. Kung makita man natin yun, napaka-justified kung maugulat tayo.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the community poll, Salvatore, 68% right now, tumitibok papunta dito sa FERVID. Meanwhile, Virtus.pro only having 32%. Pero again, stats don't lie. Virtus.pro have improved so much to a point na kaya na ata nila dito mag-clean up ng every kind of team, even for STS. No? But FERVID is still FERVID and they are still gatekeepers up against any kind of team. So tignan natin kung kakasanga ba sila dito and can everyone raise their hands for these two teams kasi oras na rin para introduce ang ating dalawang casters. It's time for Sir Datum and as well as Sir Sneaky Frog. Pumasok pa kayo dito. Ayun na nga. Mga sir, kamusta tayo dyan?
Ito men, doing really good. Not gonna lie na napakasarap na nagtatagalog na tayo ulit kasi kanina pa tayo nag-i-English dito men. And let's go back to the Filipino style. Pero yun nga, low-key excited about yung series na to actually, Polar, kasi ayun nga, yung sinabi dito ni Virtus.pro that they are the best team strategically dito sa ating tournament. But I kind of look at these two teams na pareho silang malakas pagdating sa mid-round but for all the different reasons, pare. I feel like VP can really operate even without much information. No? Siguro na kung nakita lang nila kung nasan at yung sniper dito ng FERVID, like mahanap nila kung nasan si Kay or mahanap nila kung nasan si Lance rather dito sa mapa natin. And they kind of have an entire game plan already figured out para sa kanila dito. Pero para naman sa FERVID, ang galing nila maghanap ng sitwasyon dito sa mapa na mapapabigay ng disadvantage itong Virtus.pro. Similar sa nakikita natin sa aggression dito sa Ankara from time to time. And obviously, hindi naman sikreto no, na FERVID kahit nandito sa GR side sila pare, they are not afraid to poke and prod dito sa mapa natin.
Yun ang I mean, it's gonna be interesting, no, Sneaky. I feel like also, lalo na dito sa ating second map, kung paano nga ba gagana dito yung ating strategies na sobrang kakaiba, especially in the mid-rounds for these two teams. Kasi kung isipin mo, KLR has a mind that is so vast and has so many smartest pagdating sa mundo ng CROSSFIRE. Pero di lang naman yung kakalabanan niya. A7J is there, pero Dracifer is also second calling para sa team na to. So think about that a little bit there kasi baka maging factor din yun. But Dadum, ito na nga FERVID and Virtus.pro, ikaw, are you excited? What are you expecting para dito sa ating dalawang teams?
Sobrang excited. Hindi ko alam ano yung na-expect ko dito, Bipolar, no, given our map dito. Pero mas excited ako dahil yung unang mapa natin, new compound. Guys, remind ko lang kayo nung huling beses natin nakita ang FERVID in new compound, it was against Comeback Friends. And this is the worst game of the season of Comeback Friends. Absolute humiliation yung ginawa ng FERVID noon. No? 10-2, Lance completely outclassing Woos. Tapos, ngayon na ulit natin sila makikita dito up against one of the biggest dogs. Pero, yun na nga, Virtus.pro, di pa natin nakikita ngayong season sa new compound, and that makes this very exciting, bipolar.
Yes, very exciting, no? Sinabi nga nila na talagang ready sila sa kahit ano, and they are made to be winning, or they are made to be winners. Right now, let's look at something to look out para dito sa ating dalawang teams. No? Let's start it off with the help of this here on out. It's gonna be Virtus.pro. What is Cetro on this Masters season? Ikaw, Salvi, feeling ko kaya mo naman masagot yung ganon.
So, bipolar, rhetorical question yan para tanungin kay Cetro kung ano bang meron sa kanya ngayong season. Kasi palagi niya namang ginagawa yan. Pero, nagbabago lang talaga yung mga reaction natin. Kasi, parang palupit ng palupit yung mga ginagawa niya inside of the maps itself, eh, no? No other team, other than Team Stallions, has ever countered truly Cetra, no? Kahit nung natalo sila dito sa Execration, Cetra still performed really nice. Kaya nga, dikit yung dalawang 10-8 na yun, eh, no? Bipolar, it was because of the stability and performance of Cetra, no? Is this his dual season? I feel like it always has been, no? The moment na nagsimula siya sa Sunday Shrooms, he has always been that diamond in the rough. Tapos nung nakuha niya yung opportunity dito sa Evo's Arc, it definitely upgraded into the Heart Diamond na parang hindi mo talaga pwedeng masira basta-basta. And now, Cetra, on his year of 2026, mas lalo niya pang pinapangat yung stock niya to be the threat, not just here locally, but internationally renowned na talaga si Cetra, no? So this season is nothing new. It's just that amazing talaga habang tumatagal for Cetra.
I mean, I agree with you on that, Salvatore, no? Sabi nga dito ni 02 that the Philippine scope is online every time. Plus, kung isipin nyo, ang nakikita nating Cetra is not a local kind of Cetra. Every time that he is in these maps, every time that he is playing, we are seeing international Cetra kind of plays, and that is impressive nonetheless. Kasi not a lot of people can replicate that kind of mindset, or at least that kind of plays, and I love to see it here, especially up against FERVID. Pero ikaw naman, Sneaky Frog, I do have a little bit of questions here, or just help me out na dito sa ating next point. Our next point will be... Yun na nga, no? It's gonna be, will history repeat itself for VP versus FERVID? Kasi last time na naglaban sila, they opened spring with a 3-set series kung saan nanalo pa rin ang FERVID.
Yun nga, man. I feel like if this was a third map na Eagle Eye para dito sa series natin, I feel like FERVID would have needed to win this one 2-0, no? Kasi I feel like medyo dangerous yung mapa nila na yun at this very moment. But, ayun nga, no? I feel like this also tells a lot about yung level na nakuha nga dito ng FERVID, especially all throughout itong group stage. Granted, no, yung form nila up against itong team acceptance was a bit shoddy, but you still cannot ignore yung nangyari dun sa series up against itong STS, no? I mean, it's still a 10-8 on sub base against one of the best sub-base teams, you know, went to overtime dito sa Ankara, pare, and yun nga, Eagle Eye, yun nga, no, needs a bit more practice para dito sa FERVID, pare, but in those first two maps, you can really feel the closeness ng FERVID dito sa ating mga top teams, and I feel like, yun nga, no, maybe this is the time that they can finally take out itong VP, and finally A7J can slay his demons, pare.
Yun nga, no, I mean, kung isipin mo, FERVID play, look towards the top at nahanap nila doon is STS and FERVID, STS and Virtus.pro. That's why yun yung pinag-practice nila ng todo. So tignan natin yun kung talagang papalagpangarin ba sila or will they falter up against the Bears of Virtus.pro. Pero Daydom, D and Lance are fading and FERVID Esports needs them right now. What do you think about this? Totoo nga ba?
That's a bit of a rough statement to make dito para kay D and Lance, who palagi nating pinupuri itong dalawang to, no? Ever since the start of the Swiss stage. Remember, Bipolar, ang tagal nilang undefeated up until that acceptance game na talaga nga namang mapapatanong ka anong nangyari, no? I mean, I would count that as a fluke, although I would admit to a bit of bias kasi grabe yung storya dito ng FERVID, no? Nanggaling ng Impact, big upgrades across the season, tapos pumasok si MZ, and they have been unstoppable. Pero, yun na nga, cracks have shown, sabi nga dito sa ating nakasulat sa lower thirds, and hindi natin alam kung nasa ngayon ang FERVID. Although I wouldn't say that it's D and Lance's fault. I feel like it's a grander scheme of things na question mark kung paano nangyari yung landslide up against Team Acceptance. Dito natin malalaman yun kasi what's a better test than fighting against some of the best dito sa CF Southeast Asia? We'll find out.
Alam mo, tama ka naman dyan, Daydom, no? Pero kasi kung isipin mo, that also applies to acceptance. So I feel like it was really just, you know, the grander scheme of things talaga. But nonetheless, ito na nga. Dadayo na tayo dito sa ating map number 1. It's time to throw it off to our caster. It's time for FERVID as well as Virtus.pro, Sneaky Frog, and as well as Daydom. Kayo naman.
Maraming salamat sa ating panel, Bipolar and Salvatore. Eto na, Sneaky, it's time for the main event, a classic in the making, Virtus.pro laban sa FERVID. Eto, Sneaky, matanong ko na agad sa'yo. Let's get this out of the way. Is this going to be another one of those days na yung FERVID nag-hyper-focus sa top 2 teams natin. We saw this a little bit in Stallions and it got raised again, feeling ko, nung nakalaban nila yung acceptance. Nakapag-prepare kaya sila dito sa Virtus.pro?
I feel like, yung preparation nila last week pa. Kasi, yun nga, judging from the team acceptance series na nakita natin, I feel like tama yung statement na sinabi ko, Datom, na it kind of felt like they were trying to play Virtus.pro 1 week or like 1 day ahead, pare. Kasi, yun nga, if you are going into the game and gaganon kayo na type ng play where you're more passive, more trying to catch the opponent more than anything, tapos kalaban yung team acceptance, that's not really gonna work kasi, yun nga, the proactivity on the side of team acceptance will find those holes eventually, and I feel like, yun nga, acceptance did a really nice job, especially si Ajax no time na yun. Oh my God, what a demon. Yun nga, he just absolutely fried yung buong team. Pero para naman sa FERVID, malay mo, di ba, worth it yung kanilang preparation na nakita natin from last time. I feel like yung kanilang style, or yung kanilang style from last day really matches yung match nila at the moment. I feel like, yun nga, FERVID, obviously, still a team that is very talented dito sa ating labanan. So I want to count them out, pare, for sure.
Absolutely. Ito na, simulan na natin ang laban. New compound! Set number 1, VP versus FERVID.
Tapos na ako, pakakunin na ako.
Si patayo. Kinang ina mo ba yan?
Tulo. Sorry.
Ikuha.
Nato na ba?
Karo ako dira ang minda.
Sukan ako. Okay.
Kinig mo naman, Sneaky. Nagiinit na agad ang dugo nila dito. In LA, lots of presence for both sides. A7J magpipik. Kaso huling-huli siya doon ni KLR. The featured matchup, nagpakita kagad.
Literal na head-to-head, pare. Nakita natin dito sa LA. And with A7J out of the picture, Storage A is now wide open para sa Virtus.pro. And I really like this, Dalawa lang nag-take dito sa LA and may tatlong magte-take dito sa mid. That means 2 pressure points. Pero si Lance, nakita na dito si KSA. Yobe from the mid side, creating another point of pressure. MZ getting another one. Pero yun lang, Zetra and KLR will be sealing it. It's a 3 versus 1 Tracifer mag-isa na lang.
Tapos di niya pa alam na nasa taas na si Elvin. That's Virtus.pro with a quick round 1. Ganda ng split nila doon from LA into mid. And FERVID, ito yung problema nila. There's not a lot of sample size as to the updated strats ng Virtus.pro already showcasing us what they can do sa compound. Round 1 pa lang, Sneaks.
Yun nga, pare, we're getting some team vitality action dito sa mapa natin ng new compound. I did see that from Rock Esports, or Rock back in the day nung sina Snake at si Snare pa, pare. Yun yung hilig ni Horus yung atakihin lang tong LA, pare, and he's gonna have a second teammate right behind him for the trade. Pero Lance, cheeky boost dito sa EA, pero hindi niya na makukuha kung sino man na naandun sa mid. Forced to swap as well. MZ, not a bad sniper, pero ayun nga, it's not the main one. Yun yung problema, pare, at katapat mo pa si Zetra, pare.
Exactly. Showcase of weapons pa rin, Elvin and KSA. Perma AK na sila dito, Sneaks, in Virtus.pro. Sticking to that mantra. Going towards store B. Ano naman si Tracifer, who this time is all alone. Walang setup ang FERVID. Oh, what a shot! KSA is down, Sneaks.
Yun nga, Tracifer taking him out. Really good opening kill para sa kanila, pare, and he is gonna help him escape in the process. Pero si Yobib nakadaan na ng bintana. Walang nakapantay from the side of FERVID. And despite yung casualty dito ng Virtus.pro, pare, they still got the objective at the end of the day, which is taking itong control ng storage B natin, and pwede na sila mag-explore sa mapa, pare.
Question is, will they hold this? Knowing na kulang na sila ng isa. Yes, Yobib got in, but is that enough space? Zetra on the hunt at this point. Dito pumapasok yung sniper battles natin. Zetra has been performing, particularly in the last 2 matches. I feel like Zetra, chinanel niya na yung inner international demon niya, and he's come to play. How he will perform against MZ, we'll find out. Elvin peeking, A7J spotted, and again, nahuli si A7J.
Yun lang. The power of the AK-47, pare. That faster recovery kahit naka-run and gun siya dito, men. And the run and gun, at least the first bullet, accurate naman dito, pare. So it does make sense for him to be rocking that, especially knowing yung role dito ni Elvin. Pero 20 seconds left on the clock para makapasok dito yung Virtus.pro. Papasok ng ating B site. Lance can possibly stop this, but with only 14 seconds left, dapat in the span of 10 seconds, may execute nila kung sino man na nasa loob dito, pare. Zetra swinging, killing itong si D, and Yobib already at the bottom of B. And makakaisa pa nga dito si Elvin, pare. And FERVID, just so you think, or just when you think you had the round, pare, yun nga, even on a second, Virtus.pro can plant the C4.
An immaculate map timing, Sneaks. Literal, piso na lang yung natitira sa oras natin na itanim pa rin nila yung bomba. And Zetra making contact against D is what made that round happen para sa Virtus.pro. Oh my goodness, FERVID, anong pinasok nyo dito? Siguro hindi nyo rin alam. Setup coming in para sa EA. And I think it's about time na binigay na lang yung store A dito. They're not gonna put A7J there anymore, Sneaks.
Oh, for sure. I think yung long A lang naman kasi if ever you're gonna be defending it, it's kinda similar to what we see in the other maps. It's kinda like just another point similar dito sa hotel or second mid or either or, no? You just have to pick one kung ano mang kukunin mo dito. But an LA push doesn't mean na matic A-take gagana yun, men.
Exactly.
But the way that VP is playing it, no? Kasi they're really forcing itong si A7J to make some really difficult decisions under time pressure pare. Yun yung style nila, men.
Tapos mahuhuli ulit siya dito on the first contact from KSA. And that ain't no lurk. That's the empty. 3 players mula dito sa B site. Virtus.pro making presence. Dito na rin si Obib. But we've seen this time and time again, no? Early contact, get a kill, Mamba out, and then go for the split.
I think they also recognize that Storage B is one of the most important maps, no? Or one of the most important parts of the map pagdating nga dito sa kanilang mga B-take. And I really like it, no? VP, just clearing it. Tamang pasok lang dito sa Storage B and then use their superior numbers, no? Para makakuha pa ng mas malaking advantage dito sa may mid-side. Racifer, ready and waiting. Si Lance nakapatong dito sa pinto. Napakaganda ng flash. Double flash. At ayan na yung sinasabi ko. Super effective. Pero may titingin pa sa taas. Yan ang tanong. No one has noticed where Lance is. Lance has gotten KSA. No info on him. Pero si Yobib, spray down, wala nang halos bala itong si Lance and it will only be D left and stuck na siya dito sa EA once again. VP kinda playing with the minds dito ng FERVID, no? This is low-key psychology, pare.
It is a clinic. Sa Sneaky, it's clean para sa Virtus.pro dito. And my question is, why is A7J the one forced to make these decisions? Usually si Dracifer yung pinapadala dito ng FERVID para maghanap ng early contact or perhaps a little bit of early space. And they will change that mentality for the moment. 3-2 split. Hindi na nila hayaan na mag-isa si Kapitan Lito. But that will leave one of the parts of the map dito vulnerable para sa FERVID. Lance, off angle, atop the box. Ayaw na ibigay yung pillar, Sneaks.
Yeah, para pakiramdam ko yung call dito ni Lito is like, man, binamagnet ako ng mga players dito. Samado nga ako. Parang kanina pa ako wina-one-tap dito by an AK-47 3 times. But at the same time, this is where VP's reads are now gonna start to come in. I think they're fully well aware kung na magpapa-back up na dito si A7J. So, they're still trying to avoid him as much as possible dito sa mapa natin. And at most, it will be Yobib with the aggression. Ganda ng kanyang spot, man.
Spotted. Swing out from Yobib, pero makatama din siya. That's the one. Looking for the second. And Dracifer with a nice trade. Finally, nakasagot ang FERVID sa early contact dito. Pillars will be their domain for now. Pero Virtus.pro, makikita na sa A7J. Finally surviving the first encounter dito sa loob ng A site. Backing off. VP doing the same thing. Hindi nila kakagatin yung A.
Yeah, of all the players he tanks, he's Etra pa pare. The man who is standing the farthest back sa lahat ng VP players dito. But at the same time, as soon as he saw that sniper, insta-out galing dito kay A7J. But this is now where FERVID's strength lies. Yung re-clear nila pare. Elvin with that very cheeky angle. Nakita na si MZ. AK-47 mapapalipad. Pero A7J with a very quick trade. 3 versus 3. But look at P-side Tadum.
Zetra on the perfect angle. 2 mula sa tower. Lance is down and B-site is wide open. Virtus.pro, papasok lang. Kahit naubos yung utility na dito, 6, okay lang. Post-plant is abound.
Grabe. And I feel like even on the reactions dito ng FERVID, kahit tama sila dito, man, there is at least one player or at least one factor na mapapunish dito sa setup ng FV. And it seems like FERVID, yun nga, cannot come into the site anytime soon. A7J already out at mamamatay na lang dito si Dracifer. At doon na nga tumama, pare. Kasi sinabi ni, may nag-messenger note to si si Keller eh.
Ano
Kahapon men, sa leeg daw. Ngayon, mabait daw siya sa FERVID sa Tagiliran naman.
Tagiliran. My God, Virtus.pro putting up a clinic. Parang chinututor tayo ganito mag-compound. No? And you talk about the mid-round of FERVID. Virtus.pro doing the exact same. Mas pinaganda pa nila putting Zetra up top, watching the flank, watching a potential peak, tapos sakto yung basa nila. Lance getting caught. And Virtus.pro getting the 4th round, Sneaks. At this conjuncture, ano yung pwedeng adjustment na gawin ng FERVID? Parang lahat binabato na nila eh.
Yun nga eh. Napakadali sabihin, no, if you're like the average Crossfire player, bakit di na lang mag-push itong FERVID? I mean, VP is also anticipating that. Yan ang problema dito. Virtus.pro, the reason why they take so long na mag-setup kagaya ng ganito, especially up against teams like itong FERVID, like itong Team Stallions, is they really trying to draw out those early aggressions. Ayun nga, para makuha nila yung 5 versus 4 or yung 5 versus 3. And it works almost every single time, no? Kasi low-key, sabi ko tong Virtus.pro, nag 20 seconds nag-execute kayo, pare. Pero, you know, I feel like by the time the execute starts, alam na nila yung step 1 hanggang plant, eh.
Exactly. And I think perfectly demonstrated yan nung laban nila, laban sa atras, no? Jacob constantly getting berated by Elvin. Who, by the way, has got a 5.0 KD for now, si Elvin. Katabi niya lang si KLR, both 5 kills. Immense numbers already para dito sa Virtus.pro. Making a mid-approach. Pero tahimik ang compound.
No way you get this, Etra, no? That's a hard angle to clear. Oh, kina-cut off nila yung rotation all the way from EA, man. Pero dito na yung USP, dito na Yobib. Gets one, Tracifer, turn around. Spotted si D. Sa pintana, and he spams on Kellar. He didn't have time para umikot dito sa pangalawang player, pare. And KSA is already poking and prodding dito kay A7J, pare. No one confirmed in the B side. And look at that first spray on the AK-47. And Lons is gonna get taken down. And, ayun nga. MZ, the last one left alive, and I feel like we might need to do a bit of tweaking dito sa ating gun tier list kasi si KSA yung AK ginagawa ng S tier, pare.
Talk about the play from Yobib and Kellar as well. Picture perfect. Insta-clearing the entirety of B site. MZ gets a nice couple of taps mula kay KSA for his 3rd kill of the round. By the way, Sneaky, 5-0 na tayo just like that. And for Vid, wala pa ring timeout. I don't know what's happening, but for Vid, something needs to be done.
And yeah, we might need to put up some missing posters dito, pare, kasi we have yet to see FERVID do anything dito sa mapa natin. Not even on the defense, not even on the offense. And that just comes with going up against Virtus.pro, do, kasi napapaisip ka talaga na, ayun nga, no, FERVID, you really want to go as forward as possible, try to get as much map control as possible, no? Pero with the style talaga ng Virtus.pro, it really isn't just allowed. So you're kinda forced to play the game na, you know, you're not too keen to do, no? I mean, kaya naman mag-hold dito ng FERVID 100%, but not in the way that Virtus.pro is doing, pare.
One of the timings as well kanina, nag-push si KSA after nung engagement nila Yobib. Trying to catch that mid-rounding, that mid-movement na ginagawa ng FERVID. Tas saktong-sakto, may dalawang nag-peek na tig-isa, trying to reinforce that B site. So it's not just the aim sneaks, it's also the coordination ng Virtus.pro and also the read. KSA with the timing. And now we go to square one yet again for Vid. We've seen this setup before, pero agresibo yung angulo ni MZ sa ngayon.
Yun yan, down B. That's how you know how down bad itong FERVID is to get points dito sa mapa natin, no? Kasi, yun yan, dito na nakuha yung store B and they are playing, you know, probably the best angle that you can ask for pagdating nga dito sa B side, which is yung ilalim. Problema nga lang, Virtus.pro, that's the type of thing na they would just mid-split for, eh. You know what I mean? Like B-split, okay, may tao dito sa or may dalawang tao dito sa ilalim ng B site. And then we're just gonna send Zetra papunta dito sa curve and see what happens. And I like what they did earlier, no? Nung pinush nila yung B, the entire job of Zetra was to just cut off yung mga A players dito from rotating, which is madness, pare.
This time, ibang trabaho naman para kay Zetra. Make the early push along with Yobib. B site movement happening. Pero yung bomba nasa con mid pa rin, Sneaks. 29 seconds. Virtus.pro, master talaga sila. Maximize yung timer dito. And MZ about to make contact against Elvin. Crucial contact. Elvin staying alive for now. And for Vin, maganda pa rin yung hold nila sa ngayon. Lance with the pistol. Finding Case. Kaso hindi niya itama yung baril niya doon. KLR with the backup. And Case finally going down. KLR hindi makapasok. And Lance will get the collab. Triple and a quad. Lance explodes sa loob ng A. At yun, ang kailangan ng FERVID.
Yun lang, when your spacing is too good, sometimes you can get absolutely yoked like that. Grabe naman yun galing dito kay Lance. A good hold galing sa kanya pare, no, with a bit of help from his teammate. And pakiramdam ko that help was definitely needed because the pressure was already real. Galing dito sa Virtus.pro, papunta ng A-site natin pare. But yun nga, Lance, right place, right time para sa kanya pare at sakto ang kanyang tira.
And for sure, yung hold din ni MZ, no, crucial in that round. Kung nakakuha ng kill si Elvin doon, mapapwersa si Lance so tumingin din sa exit, eh. Because MC stayed alive, they had control of LA, and parang napadali yung trabaho ni Lance. And you see Lance working under pressure, gives FERVID their first round. But is that enough, Sneaks? How do you repeat something like that for FERVID?
That's the thing. Yung mga ganyan na sitwasyon, no? Dadom, that is not easily repeatable. And kaya nga nasasabi ko pa minsan, I'm really not convinced pag 1 versus 1 or it's a highlight play that is gonna win you the round. I need to see the definite chess match, the definite checkmate.
Exactly.
Galing nga dito sa mga players at teams natin. But speaking of checkmate, pare, this B-site or B-storage has been on checkmate for quite a while now. D and itong si Dracifer, two of the most aggressive players dito sa FERVID, trying to see if they can defend it from his point. Pero KSA, naglakad na paloob. Spotted pa rin si D, and Dracifer's gonna die still. B-site's wide open, pare.
And again, another pretty flash mula kay KLR to set up KSA, and immediately yung B-site nawala para sa FERVID. D berated. At ngayon si Kuya naghahasik ng lagim, pero it's MZ on the lurk. Di pa siya nakikita ni Zetra dito. Pero okay lang, he's holding the right angle. MZ spotted, A7J for the trade. Zetra still somehow gets the kill. And it's 2 versus 4, but it feels impossible, Sneaks.
How the hell was that a headshot? Galing dito kay Zetra. He was zipping his mouse around but still somehow landed the CB. 10 seconds left. Is this an attempt galing kay A7J? USP in hand. Pero si KSA, it's easy pickings para sa kanya, pare. 4 seconds left on the C4. Luns is gonna give it up. 6-1 Virtus.pro dito sa ating BL side. And we were kind of expecting na, FERVID would be creating a whole lot more points galing dito sa kanilang GR, pare. Pero, ayun nga, parang na-neutralize yung kanilang style, pare.
And this is where you have to make bank sa GR side ng compound. Exactly why FERVID absolutely love the start of their first map dito. They're not loving it anymore. 1-6 ang score natin as it stands. And FERVID, in all fronts, yung depensa, yung mid-round, the post-plant, lahat naglaho in the face of a towering Virtus.pro. And I like the shift in mentality ng Virtus.pro dito, Sneaky. Ever since their loss from Execration, I feel like naging hands-on talaga dito si Coach Shane. Literal na binabantay niya yung players niya. Even going as far as yung laban nila, laban sa Taring Bobby, nakaantabay pa rin. Si Coach Shane, every single mistake punished, pointed out by the coach. And you can see the rewards. Virtus.pro on playoffs form already.
KSA already jumping and gunning dito sa mapa natin, and that is just an easy clear. A7J trying to react on the secondary move dito, pare, pero hindi na yun gagana. FERVID entirely countered, 2-man swing towards mid, pero tignan mo naman kung sino nakabantay dito, pare. It will be Zetra. Dracifer taken out, pero nakuha pa rin naman dito ni D, but still, it's a 2 versus 4 and an insurmountable situation, pare. Parang, it kind of reminds me of this certain flip-top battle. It's called J Black versus Pistolero, pare, and it just seems like FERVID is Pistolero at the moment, and VP is absolutely exposing yung kanilang style dito, pare. Pero si D will be trying to go individual dito sa mapa natin. Headshot for him. Golden. Pero golden din dito si Elvin papuntang B-site. Luns na lang natitira. Granted, this kid has clutched time and time again, pare, but look at the setup ng VP.
Look at the positions. No way in hell FERVID, or Luns rather, gets a kill nang hindi siya nagpupush. At yung una niya makikita si KSA, a master of contact from curve, at hindi niya man lang nakikita. Switch of weapons, just for the laughs of it, KSA nag-HK na, and that is the timeout finally dito ng FERVID. 7-1 yung scoreline natin. Bakit ngayon lang, FERVID? Time and time again, yung setup dito ng FERVID na bubulilyaso. And it's just one flash and one peak. LA, Storby, every single time, laglag ang FERVID dito.
Yun nga, man. Jam's not liking what he's seeing in the background, pare. And I can't really blame him, no? Kasi FERVID, yun nga, kinda makes you want to play the game itself, no? Pagdating sa ganitong sitwasyon. Pero pakiramdam mo, kahit magpasok ka pa ng ibang 5 players dito, pare, this still would not work at all. And yun nga, FERVID, it's just exposure. And nakikita ka natin dito, no? Dadom, the style of FERVID being proactive dito sa mapa. They want those early fights. They want those 5 versus 4 super early, no? Pero Virtus.pro not really allowing it. Kasi, ayun direct counter, kumbaga, pwede natin sabihin na kung yung kapilang team naghahanap ng 5 versus 3 at 5 versus 4 sa GR side pa lang, ito naman yung VP. They are gonna play as far back as possible. 3-man swing sa lahat ng mga lokasyon dito na mapa natin. And despite the 2-1-2, yun nga, no, pakiramdam ko, parang isa lang yung nagde-defend dito sa mga ibang angles natin. FERVID are ice cold in this game. And it's a worrying sign para sa kanila, men, kasi yun nga, if you're ice cold up against Virtus.pro, paano pa kaya yung mga mas malalakas na teams natin? What if AG nakalaban nyo, men? Like, dude's gonna eat you alive if you play like this, pare.
Exactly. And you have to think a bit from a bigger picture as well. Sneaky, this is FERVID coming out of a slump, coming out of an unexpected loss mula sa acceptance. They need to bounce back. How do you bounce back? Laban sa Virtus.pro. In a map na akala mo, handa na kayo. Yung pala, it's a reality check mula sa Virtus.pro dito na, yes, it's compound. You haven't played it. But it's not without reason.
Yeah, it's not for without reason. Nga pala, no, quick shout out to Boss Bryle. Nakita ko siya on FB Live from yesterday, no, on Abby Chris Abelio stream doing stuff, just enjoying with friends, no. And yun nga, a certain Stallions team was also on that stream. Pero, ayun nga, no, back to the ball game natin dito, pare. An absolute shellacking on the B site. And it just feels like no matter where you step or no matter what move yung gagawin mo dito, no, parang mali eh. If you're on the side of FERVID. And that is just a psychology. May parang psychology na yung inaatake nga dito ng Virtus.pro na they're taking so long on the clock and they're giving 20 or 30 seconds talaga para dito kay A7J na i-adjust yung kanyang buong defense sa kung ano mang push na nangyayari dito. And that is why you do not see Virtus.pro 4 day too early, no, dito sa mga sites natin because they're really trying to stretch that defense din.
Exactly. Unless they find an opening kill. So, Zetra. Tracifer off angle. Nakita ko agad siya dito, Sneaks, and he will be taken down. Again, bukas ang B-side. Virtus.pro. It's another one of those rounds na magpipillar lang sila papasok ng B, tas lalayo. Tapos yung FERVID hindi man lang makapag-rotate. Look at MZ hesitating to go back to B site. Kasi anytime baka may lumabas sa curve eh.
Yeah, they can't really do nothing about that, pare. Tracifer and D already out of the picture. And it's like we're watching a replay. Dito, no? Dadom, they're just taking storage B and then mag-aantay sila na matagal dito, wait for Kellar or etong si Elvin na makahanap ng opportunity sa kabilang side ng mapa. And I cannot believe na FERVID is not punishing this more heavily, no? Pero ang hirap kasi i-punish kasi pati yung lurk nila may body system, pare.
Can't help but wonder why they wouldn't put Luns in a little bit more aggressive positions. Especially at this point na medyo lugi na naman talaga sila. Virtus.pro making the move sa B site. Only one player sa batteries. MZ, bulag. Tatakbo papasok.
Ay!
Pero wala na siyang matakbuhan. KSA just jumps in, dunks on him. A7J, kita yung tagiliran niya ni Obib. And it's Lance again against the world. 1v5 Sneak, 16 HP. Tatakbo na lang siya dito pero hahabulin
Ay,
pa
sa
siya ni
leeg na.
Kapitan Kel.
Sa leeg na, pre.
8-1 in the first half at yun na nga, tinutuon na ni Kellar yung nasa messenger notes niya dito. And look at Coach Shane. Watching the behinds of his players like a hawk. Even when they're winning by such a margin.
Siyempre, kailangan mo maging hindi lang panalo, pero panalong-panalo dito, pare. Like, just a reminder dito sa chat, no? This was the team that was closest to beating all gamers. Nung CFS Grand Finals 2025. By going all 5 maps. Medyo natalong lang tayo sa last map, no? Pero what can you do up against, like, Do 2025 for pare. May something talaga kay Dumin and he's just quite the special player. Pero of all the teams that you could say, hey, na nag-participate dito sa tournament natin, no, pare, not many teams can say, hey, I took AG in 2025 to 5 games, pare. Kaya naiintindihan ko kung bakit pataas yung standard nga dito ni 0-2. And especially, he really wants to eliminate yung entire conversation of FERVID being within the level nga dito ng VP. Parang gusto niyang iparating na, okay, gumaling dito yung FERVID, but still, we are Virtus.pro and we are gonna make you see na meron pang gap na nangyayari dito.
And what better way to do that than by beating them in their own map pick? Pakinggan natin yung comms.
BBR
Meron dito.
Anong bullet mo, banda?
Meron na yan, meron na rin.
Yes, kano.
Meron dito isa. Naka-HK.
Hindi na, wala na ako dyan.
Iba ko na, iba ko.
Alright, kalmado lang, FERVID. Slow but steady. Habang sila naman ang opensa dito, Lance leading the charge. Kita niya ba yung ulo dito?
See the name.
Ni KSA. Oo nga eh.
He's messing with them. Alam niya na hindi siya matatamaan dyan.
Nades coming in. KSA having to back off a little bit. Pero halos hindi siya nabawasan doon. Sneaks. Yobib coming in to help.
Sheesh.
But it's not anything dramatic mula sa Virtus.pro, no? Pwede lang bumalik si Yobib dito sa loob ng B eh.
I have an inkling na magaling to mag-dodgeball sa totoong buhay si KSA. Pero, AK-47 in his hand, nakatago siya dito sa box. Yobib being the first contact would be quite nice. Pero alam na kasi yung presence dito ni KSA. So Yobib has to be a bit more forward dito sa mapa natin. And it will be Yobib getting one. KSA getting two still! How does that happen? No. Storage B fully occupied dito ng FERVID. Finally, they do get Elvin in return. Pero pare, realistically, wala pa silang B-side control. Zetra with the play. He has to get away, pare.
So up to Zetra.
He has to
Para
get one.
mapigilan si MZ dito sa mid. Zetra stays alive for now. Pero yung FERVID hindi nakaalis ng pillar. Crucially, si KLR nakalapit na. The moment lumabas na ng SD, pero si KLR nag-push! And he will get caught! KLR, that might have been the game-losing play para dito sa Virtus.pro. Leaving Zetra on a 1 versus 3. Pero may sniper pa siya dito. No? Looking unlikely at this point kasi wala na siyang utility. And FERVID will be setting up camp dito sa loob ng B site. Nakapuslit. But Zetra has been spotted. Still gets a nice shot in. Pero babay lang yun mula sa FERVID as they pick up their second round. Finally. Breathing room para sa FERVID.
Yun nga, finally a bit of breathing room, no? Dito sa mapa natin, FERVID finally getting a break. But this is the BL side of the map, no pare. Mahirap talaga na magkamali ka dito. Pero Virtus.pro, they can force mistakes in this situation. It's a 3-man, 2-man peak. Dito sa ating pillars, it will be Trace for getting one. Yobib will get a quick trade. A7 is down, pero alam niya ba na may parating na CB? Mukhang hindi. D will get Yobib, but still, 3 versus 3 pare. Zetra now allowed access papunta dito sa CB angle. Lance might die.
He might.
Uy, binitawan niya!
Oh, Zetra! That's the
MVP
worst
yung paa ni D.
timing. And Zetra falling prey to the trap. Pero si Kellar, nasa SD na ang lalim na. This is not a play that you usually make from the GR side. Kaya baka hindi expect ni dito. Kaso nakita niya na si Kel. Gets a bomb. At si Kel punished for his mistakes. Nice HE! And he still gets the kill onto MZ. How is Kellar still alive? Might have just made this possible para kay Elvin on a 1v2.
Pero Elvin pa rin yan pare, no? And this is the annoying part about having Elvin being as your enemy. Alam kong 1 minute and 15, you know he's an A player, but at this point, you have no idea where he is dito sa mapa na to. And that is just a reputation of one of the rattiest players dito sa Pilipinas, pare. That's why I like to give him the nickname, the Rat King, no? Kasi, you know, he seems to be the best at it. Lance, though, he just so happens to have the right extermination tools, pare. 3-8, FERVID will cause VP to timeout. Teka lang. Hey, 0-2's not happy, pero I wouldn't be happy too, no, pare? Come on, guys. We're 8-1 in the lead, and we have lost, you know, some parts of the map that we're not supposed to lose, no? Pero pakiramdam ko, hindi nagustuhan ni 0-2 yung last call dun, pare, to try and get something going dito sa B pillars. Pero pakiramdam ko, ano naman, hindi naman yung maling play eh.
Exactly.
Para sa Virtus.pro eh. I feel like that still calls a 3v3. The only reason why hindi gumana yun, pare, was because Zetra missed a shot. So, I don't see the reason for the timeout, pare.
Exactly. All things considered, no, yung pillar push dito ng Virtus.pro actually worked out. Even with the heroics dito ng mga players doon. And you're right, it's the mid-control being lost dito. By Zetra, that was cause for concern para sa Virtus.pro. But maybe there's something na gustong baguhin dito. Si Coach Shane, as early as it gets. All things considered, wala naman silang mistake na ginawa doon. No? It was a missed shot and can't blame him for that. But Virtus.pro, looking to minimize mistakes at this point. Parang kumbaga, ayaw na nilang bigyan ng chance dito yung FERVID. I do have to say though, Sneaks, this is the type of shenanigans na in-expect ko mula sa FERVID when they were losing on the GR side. Push a little bit in certain angles. Wala tayong nakitang ganun eh.
Is that a funny thought na yung bootcamp ng VP is so inconvenient? Kasi 0-2 has to go between 2 rooms.
Ulitin
So,
niyo pa
yes,
yung speech niya sa kabila. No?
Feeling ko, there is like rhyme and reason no, kung sino yung magkakatabi dito pare. I feel like Zetra and Yobe being in the same room makes sense, you know, kind of star role. And especially knowing Elvin, KSA, and Keller, no, dapat magkadikit talaga yan. Kasi, ayun nga, no, especially these three, you kinda operate on the same brain, no, pagdating sa mga riflers natin. But at the same time, no, yun nga, no, I feel like this timeout a bit unnecessary. Para nga dito sa Virtus.pro. But I feel like may nakikita si Coach 02 na hindi natin nakikita dito pare.
Maybe something in the comms. Medyo tahimik yung Virtus.pro kanina. Start of the round. Start of the half, rather. Ito yung play na sinasabi natin kanina, no? The push in Keller. They made it work, Yobe, with the double kill. Tapos nakuha din nila yung CB control, eh. For a bit. They lost it. But then LR with the heroics to turn it back.
Yung pa talaga ni DMVP dun eh.
Woo! Lot of contact mula kay Zetra dito. And D coming out on top laban kay Elvin. 1-for-1 exchange and Zetra makes noise.
Yeah, swinging.
Tumbang muna si A7J and that's a second shot from Zetra. It's effective. Laglag ang magkuya. And that's the bomb in possession as well. Virtus.pro, kitang-kita ni Zetra yung bomba.
Yun nga, men. And this was FERVID trying to actively punish itong si Elvin no, na kanina pa nakatayo dito sa may long A natin with their sheer numbers. Pero tignan mo naman yung adjustment dito ng VP. I feel like Kellar didn't feel too good about Elvin being in that certain position kaya si Zetra na lang yung inassign doon and that was the right call. And all of a sudden, 4 against 2 dito sa round natin and the fact that we're at the precipice pa ng ating map point, it's not looking good pare. Kailangan may mag-clutch dito.
And I like that FERVID tried to change the timing in that last round. No? Minadali nila yung push sa LA. So much so na medyo nagulat din tayo. No? We weren't expecting a play this early in the round but FERVID still unable to make it stick. Yes, nakuha nila yung unang kill kay Elvin. But after the fact, Zetra just showed up. Nakita ni Zetra. Pixel from MZ. He's gonna move forward a little bit. And Zetra is not gonna move.
You are not escaping this, MZ. You are in Zetra jail. Never mind! MZ, dap me up, gang. I hit Zetra with the Glaze Curse, and you hit the nastiest shot on him, man. 2 versus 3. But still, hard situation, pare. Decisions to make. 30 seconds left, and it's red time dito sa mapa natin. What are they gonna do in this situation? B-site mukhang likely para sa kanila dito. Pero yun nga, napaurong agad dito si KSA. I think he had an inkling na sa CB na dumaan yung dalawang players natin on the side of FERVID. And Lance, ready and waiting. USP sa kanyang kamay. Pero KSA, napakaganda na kanyang angle dito. And the delay is all he has to do. 1 second to plant dito sa ating site. MZ going for it. That's gonna be a headshot para kay KSA. Now he's dancing around the servers. And yung panalo ng FERVID sa round na yun, mukhang data not found, pare.
And that's the reason why B-site is one of the hardest sites to take dito sa compound. KSA with a 1v2. Hintay niya lang mawala yung effects ng flash. Throw out his own flash. Gets an easy one-tapper. And then another Virtus.pro set point off the back of that 1v2 ni KSA. Na paulit-ulit pinapakita kung gaano siya kalakas on this AK. We get it, KSA.
Yun nga, no? I feel like the AK method that this man has created suddenly, if nakita na natin na mabilis na yung pacing natin, no? Going into 2025, second half ng 2025, ever since na-integrate yung balance guns, it gave us a big buff kasi it did push yung mga teams natin to play slightly faster, especially with the HK. But now with the AK, man, I cannot believe it. Yun nga, no? You could go a whole lot faster compared to what the HK can offer nga dito na pare. And I feel like Virtus.pro, full benefit of it. KSA, ready for the full spray dito sa mapa natin. He is just hiding, rounding this corner. And ganda ng kanyang gapang dito pare. But KSA, double headshot immediately. And the first spray is really good. D, finally getting KSA. Pero alam ba nila na meron pang isang tao na nasa loob dito na store. And his name is Yobib. He's gonna be crawling forward, D, trying to make the play happen. Left, right, and center, pero expect na ang kanyang angle. But still, D hitting the shot, and that's the shot you need to hit. Pero si Zetra na andito sa ace site will be taking out MZ. Wala nang lurk option itong FERVID. At si Elvin na pasibi agad. The Rat King strikes again dito sa mapa natin.
D, nag-aala extrang hero na siya doon. Kaso hindi niya in-expect si Elvin. Making the long way around at to lands on a solo mission. Si KLR tatapusin na ang compound for Virtus.pro on a 10-3 scoreline. At napapasenyas na si KLR, inutakan niya lang daw ang FERVID. What was that? An absolute clinic from Virtus.pro.
And there it is, Virtus.pro. It seems like Keller has probably heard my comments about FERVID being, I wouldn't say almost equal, but approaching itong level ng ating VP pagdating dito sa macro style. And he said, Sneaky, I'm gonna show you the biggest shellacking dito sa new compound, even though na, yun nga, this is one of the best maps dito ng FERVID, according to my knowledge at least. Pero Virtus.pro, pinaikot nila dito ang FERVID dito sa mapa. And it's not even anything weird, galing dito sa Virtus.pro. Lahat standard ginawa nila dito, pare. Storage B take, magbaback, tapos kukuha naman ng mid. Same goes for the A site. Just replace storage B with storage A. And nakikita mo, it's always a two-prong attack. And at the same time, kahit yung mga lurk plays na nakita nga natin dun sa BL side, there's always a second option as well. And yun yung kalakasan nga dito ng Virtus.pro. They don't need much information. They don't need much material para mag-operate dito sa mapa natin.
Exactly. Didn't necessitate anything mula dito kila Elvin or even the highlighted players natin who has been stepping up. Zetra, Yobib. They were there, yes, but they weren't necessarily needed to pop off para dito sa Virtus.pro. And tama ka, Sneak. So they just had the place to do that, and every single round executed perfectly. Apart from that one round na may nakitang hiccup dito si Coach Shin, and I wouldn't necessarily say the same thing kasi malinis pa rin naman yung ginawa nila dito. Not a mistake on my book yung pillars push dito ng Virtus.pro, but even then, FERVID unable to contest, I think is a statement and a half para dito sa compound ng VP. FERVID are gonna have to go back to the drawing board kasi yung next map natin, it's the signature map of Virtus.pro. Pero hagis na natin to sa ating panelists para pag-usapan pa ang compound by Polar and Salvatore. Ano masabi nyo?
Ayun nga, malinis na execution and malinis na winalist dito ng ating Virtus.pro ang map pick ng FERVID that we call New Compound. Salvatore, grabe yun. Virtus.pro, nothing surprising there, but FERVID, ang pinaka-surprising doon, hindi sila gumana mismo dito sa map pick nila.
And even on the start ng pinakamalakas na side ng mapa, na parang wala talagang kamamangmuang dito or they're na just not fully aware of the capabilities of Virtus.pro, And it is already evident na isa sa mga pinaka nagpapalakas sa estado ng isang team is yung executes talaga, pati yung presensya ng isang team. And definitely Virtus.pro really banked on every executes. Nakita ka ba, bipolar, na may naging individual play doon? Everyone was feeling it inside of New Compound.
Oh yeah.
Everyone was taking space. Everyone is throwing utils. Execute after execute ng Virtus.pro. Walang rebuttal itong FERVID, going as far as to score 8-1. My God, timing is everything. Sinabi to ni Dadom kanina, they're always finding every single opening laban sa FERVID na either nagro-rotate sa Z, palabas ng exit, o kaya pwedeng makipaglaban sa loob nga ng con mid. Every single part ng compound, dinaanan, inubos talaga ng Virtus.pro. That's why a 30 to 40 second execute is very important. Ito ang pinakamagandang sagot yan.
Man, talagang nilakbay dito ng Virtus.pro ang buong mapa natin to a point na yun na nga, doon na sinabi mo, these 20-second executes, man, or at least 30-second executes, talagang dyan lumalakas ang Virtus.pro because just like what Zetran said sa ating interviews natin, they're well prepared sa mga ganun kind of situation and they know despite the timer not really favoring their side kapag BL side, alam nila kung ano yung gagawin and it works out every time, 90%, and that's why we are seeing 100% rating dito kay KLR and as well as dito kay KSA. Man, the AKs have been rampant dito sa Virtus.pro pero talagang lumalakas yun dahil nasa tamang kamay naman yan dito ni KSA. A 17-7 KDA and as well as dito kay KLR na 11-3 deaths lang naman. You know what? The IGLD na kailangan dito maging sakripisyo kasi siya na mismo talaga ang nag-iisip at pumipitas dito sa FERVID. Meanwhile, the worst performance yet, not just from the IGL, not just from A7J, but for FERVID, a 0.04 bala kay A7J at 3-13, man. I feel like they didn't just struggle, they were basically disappointed sa mismong performance nila dito. Sa 13 rounds, 3 lang ang nakuha nila doon.
Grabe naman. Parang pag nakita mo talaga yung set summary ng first half pala, magtataka ka, typo yan. Hindi pre, isa lang talaga ang nakuha ng
Totoo
FERVID
yan.
all throughout the first half. And yung dalawang nakuha ng FERVID, it was definitely a warranted timeout para mag-lock in ang Virtus.pro. No? Alam mo paano nakuha ng FERVID yung round nila? Nag-lock in sila. Tumama yung kulat, naipanalo nga nila. So it's basically FERVID telling us na we need to make a highlight, pre. We need to make someone the star of the show bago tayo makakuha ng round. Whereas Virtus.pro, everybody shined. Everyone is netting positive pagdating sa KD nila. Yobib entering, Cetra hitting the rotators. KSA and Elvin, nagpapalakas sa AK. KLA, tinatawag kagad, predicting the movement of FERVID. And Virtus.pro just cannot do anything wrong sa loob ng new compound.
Yun ang parang opening act lang dito si Lance, pero ang buong Virtus.pro yung main act natin, and the leader to do it all off, it's gonna be Kellar, man. 3.67 in terms of KD, a 0.85 na kill per round, and that rating na saktong-sakto. Alam mo, Kellar, you are one hell of a player, lalo na dito sa labanan natin up against A7J, and as well as leader of FERVID.
And naririnig ko na yung interview ngayon eh. Nakaka-excite ka naman. Siguro kung makukuha niya yung set MVP
nakaka-excite.
sa loob ng port, we are definitely going to be in for a treat na bipolar, considering na sinabi nga kanina no, na parang tapos na sa leeg eh. Dito naman daw sa tagiliran at grabe nga naman kung gumilit ang mga taga-tondo dito no, sa loob nga ng new compound because every single rotation ng FERVID binasa talaga ng Virtus.pro at tumagas ang dugo ng FERVID sa loob nga ng new compound, pero kinakailangan pa nila ng onting lakas eh pagpasok ng port na yan. Bipolar, paano na yan?
Yun ang ang ating map number 2 will head on, will be starting later on, pero dadayo nga ba dyan ang ating FERVID para tumagas ulit yung dugo nila, or will we force an Ankara map to be other sider? And again, mapa to ng FERVID, and they know this pretty damn well from the recent Masters before. Again, we'll be having a little bit of a short break. Magbabalik po ang ating Summer Masters 2026 after this. Let's continue the battle dito ngayon sa ating CFSPH Summer Masters 2026, kung saan angat na nga dito ang ating Virtus.pro sa buong series ng 1 puntos, at ngayon dadayo pa tayo sa pinaka-paborito kong mapa para sa ating dalawang teams. No? It's Virtus.pro and FERVID bouting or dueling dito sa ating mapa ng port. And Salvatore, I would love to hear your thoughts on this one.
Grabe men, no? There's no better map na piliin talaga ng Virtus.pro outside of Eagle Eye other than Port, no? Ito nga pala yung mapa na pinagbubuti nga nila, highly prioritized during Master Spring. At ngayon, nagbubunga na nga to in one of their best maps from Eagle Eye, Ankara, and now they added Port to the mix na nagiging malaking tama na nga to para sa mga ibang teams. Now, FERVID will be able to play Port. This is also one of the maps na tinalo nga nila ang Execration during Swiss, and they kind of really had this showing no, mula dito kay MZ and as well as A7J. Two of the players na hindi natin nakita sa loob ng new compound. And this is now a new environment, new map, and a new setting para sa site ng FERVID. And hopefully any recovery is welcome para sa team nga na to. No? But Virtus.pro, man, this is still international Virtus.pro levels of Port. No? Ito nga pala yung mapang kinuha nila against all gamers, and that stat line alone, bipolar ang nagpapayanig sa FERVID.
Yun na nga, medyo nakakatakot dito yung 100% win rate ng ating Virtus.pro on the map of Port, and they're starting on the GR side, which is gonna be very, very interesting. Alam nyo, with my flick of the wrist, may introduce natin dito ang ating mga casters. It's Sneaky Frog, and as well as that.
Thanks ever so much, Bipolar and Salvatore. Sneaky, may tanong ako, Sneaky.
Yep.
Nakalimutan ba ng liga natin na paboritong mapa ng Virtus.pro ang Port? Kasi tinitingnan ko yung stat sheet. Ever since the group stage has started, palaging hindi binaban yung Port. Parang nakalimutan nila na ito yung signature map nila.
Ayun nga, man. I feel like it is the factor of Virtus.pro being able to play every single map with the exception of maybe New Mexico, no? Pero balay mo, nilalaro pala nila yun. I mean, they got ito yung problema kasi they got a good Eagle Eye, they have a good compound, they have a good port, they have a good sub base, they have a good Black Widow, pare. So what choice do you have dito sa Vito, no, kung kayo yung FERVID dito? And I feel like FERVID's probably playing, or at least picking the map, or at least naiwan nila yung map for themselves. I think they're fully well aware na Virtus.pro would definitely target port pagdating dito sa Vito natin, and maybe they have practice dito sa kanilang BL side, no, considering doon pa sila nagsisimula dito sa ating mapa. And I feel like they are gonna try to see if they can create a buffer dito sa BL side para pagdating dito ng GR, they can kind of win from there. But even then, mahirap manalo pare kasi yun nga no, Virtus.pro has I think Virtus.pro's responsibility no, Virtus.pro is responsible for the uptick ng win rate pagdating sa BL side ng mapa na to pare. The amount of setups na nagawa nga nila and the amount of time that they can get, especially on the BL side, even up against yung mga better teams natin dito pare. Virtus.pro, they kind of just know both sides, and yun nga no, FERVID, this will be a big challenge para sa kanila pare, considering yun nga no, you're facing the best on their best, so do the math pare.
Exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, Virtus.pro kasi innovators of the meta yan. No? Una, ginawa nilang innovative yung port natin, and then Eagle Eye coming into the mix. No? Sali yung dahilan kung bakit marami nag-i-eagle ngayon. Pakinggan natin yung comms as we head into port.
Kita rin na ang babara. If isa to, smoke na diri. Bubumbar ni tulo mga mo diri.
Okay na.
Kita ka biyar kanan.
Ayun say.
Ay baba. Wala na kita.
Hindi mo kasi... Yeah.
Wag bintil ka muna.
Di alam gago, mabibigla tayo.
Alright, Virtus.pro. Nakita nyo yan ng tama, guys. It's Virtus.pro na nasa GR side at the beginning of port. As if it couldn't get any harder para sa FERVID dito. Sneaky, they will start off on the harder part of the map dito, harder side of the map. And Lance, it's time to get creative.
Yun nga, men. Kailangan mo mahanap yung paraan na first to guess where Zetra is kasi palipat-lipat tong bata na to from A, B, and itong mid natin. And you have to also find out kung may nakabantay dito sa CA o hindi, pare. Is it just a Bozert 8-take or is it just a simple 2-1-2 galing sa players dito ng VP? That's the problem, no? They can kind of pull out that type of defense anytime they want, pare. Pero early mid presence, Zetra trying to use yung napakaliit na gap dito sa ating smoke para makita siya na isang player dito sa bridge, but still CA control in the hands dito ng FERVID. Pero Virtus.pro, onting rotation lang, nandun na sila eh. Nice shot galing kay Kellar.
Yeah.
Si Lito pa
That's just a
nakuha.
spam from Kel, no, na paulit-ulit niyang hinuhuli dito yung nasa mid. Si Lito na naman ang unang casualty para sa FERVID. Always eager for that early contact, pero si Zetra obliging FERVID. Yun! Hindi tumama, FERVID. Counting their lucky stars. About to push towards LA. Dito naman si Elvin. It's a triple stack. Sneaks might not be the best idea. Zetra coming back into the fold. And Dracifer making contact. Early good peek para kay Elvin. Taken down. Kellar going down. And Virtus.pro with a beautiful hold already. Zetra not letting go of exits. And Zetra will go down. 1v2. And it's all too easy para kay Yobid. Virtus.pro. Quick rotations and Zetra making the right decisions at the right time.
Yun nga, sakto rin yung flash no, naglanding dito sa mukha dito ni Dracifer pare. So as soon as he entered itong lander, he was just a blind man despite the kill dito kay Elvin. And I really like that setup no, galing dito sa VP. Parang may magagamit pa rin yung sniper power dito ni Zetra. But at the same time, you're still keeping presence dito sa top 8 thanks to Kellar. So, ayun nga no, maybe that is one of the few one of the many creative ways na nagagawa dito ng VP na mag-counter ng mga plays that usually do work. But for now, hindi nga yung gagana pare. Good use of the utility as well, man.
Sabi sa'yo innovators. I mean, ito yung isa sa mga innovations recently sa port, no? The new sniper positions. And Virtus.pro, still at the lead when it comes to creativity dito sa mapang ito. Si Elvin, siya yung nasa top ace ngayon. Which is less and less na nagiging sniper haven yung top A natin. Look at FERVID, 4 stack in CA. Hoping to make something drastic happen laban kay Elvin.
Ito ni Elvin doon, nasa top A, no? I guess we're gonna try to go for it. Fully blinded FERVID. Medyo disconnected yung kanilang push pare, and it is taking a while. And I think inaantay dito ng FERVID yung lahat ng flashes at nades ang tinatapon nga dito ng Virtus.pro to try and counter this. No one is blinded. Elvin still on top A. And he will get absolutely mauled dito sa top A as well.
Nice.
Dracifer and Lons finally getting their 2 kills. Kellar will be getting MZ. 2 versus 4. FERVID finally with a lead dito sa kanilang BL side. Crouch peek KSA hitting still. But he will die eventually, pare. Yobib the only one left alive.
Nice shot from Lance. Take down KSA and si Yobib. Hinahabol na ni Dracifer dito on FERVID. Put themselves on the board with a successful A-site take. Nakakit agad sila dun sa top A, no? They were hoping for the exit push. Kaya sila nag-hesitate dun sa LA Sneaks. Waiting for Zetra. And when he didn't come, they took control of top A. Tapos dun na nila nahuli si Zetra. Crucial pick as well from Lance to keep control of mid. And that shot from A7J. Nice coordination mula dito sa FERVID to net them off that A push. At Yun, na-neutralize nila na ngayon si Zetra, no? A big pick, certainly, para sa Fervid.
Yun nga, no, pare. I feel like that one of the main reasons why that worked as well para dito sa Fervid is there wasn't anyone realistically challenging itong CA. No, it was only Fashes, it was only HEs, pero in terms of tao, ay wala nga kahit ni isa na andun, kahit ba rin. Pero yun nga, pinapan-adjustment ka lang dito sa Virtus.pro. Now it is Zetra back on the ladder, top A responsibility. Pero gusto niyang paakyatin dito si Elvin, I think. This could be a mistake, but they could also just be peeking low.
Lance, unaware, nakababa yung pantalon niya doon. Sneaks and Lance taken down easily. Elvin, Mr. Rat King himself, makes his presence known. Zetra andito pa rin, pero nasa curve, nasa Ares na ang mga miyembro ng Fervid. A7J unaware, Zetra is right there, and Zetra, easy pickings para sa sniper ng Virtus.pro. Sniper Saven, and he makes it a triple for Virtus.pro. Okay lang na pumasok sila ng Ares. Virtus.pro ready to receive.
Yeah, and I feel like Virtus.pro, nung nakita nila na nagsiset up na ng CA yung Fervid, no, I feel like they're very well aware na sa saktong a minute 36 magsasmoke dito si Lanzalong, and they punish that exactly. And medyo nagkalat na nga yung mapa natin, no, dahil sa nangyari na to, pare. And Zetra, this is the easiest shots of his life, man. Top A, you have plenty of cover as well. You pull out the cold. It's a losing battle para dito sa Fervid. You know, man, that is just Virtus.pro for ya. I mean, despite yung nakita natin kanina, I was thinking na may papasok dito ng CA, pero hindi, man. Pinush na lang nila dito yung long.
Exactly. And the way they did it too. Pinosisyon nila si Zetra sa ilalim ng CA just to enable Elvin of the push. Still a bit of risk para sa Virtus.pro na gawin yun, no? And successfully doing so, taking down Lance.
Look at the nade.
Parang napilitan yung Fervid na pumasok. Nice HE. Kalahati yung HP dito ni Dracifer and Yobig. Peeking out from Z. Aray ko, A7J.
Oh, Yobe fully blinded, fully spraying still. D is gonna be dying dito sa baba ng bridge, pero Dracifer will be getting Kellar in return. Dracifer with the ninja shooting his own teammate. Wrong guy. Zetra, nandito sa top A. Still, pero si Elvin, napakaganda ng cover. They thought that they could be slick. They thought that they could push Zetra on top A, but the Rat King is not allowing it, pare. Lance, as much as you are a legend, pare, pero I mean, you are at base. The C4 nandito sa bodega. Might as well na gamitin na lang yung 55 seconds pang usap dito sa Fervid, pare. Kasi, ayun nga, this is looking nigh impossible.
A mini timeout na lang para sa Fervid. Lance buying as much time as possible, staying alive as long as possible. As we stretch out the 44-second timer dito, Virtus.pro again. Complete destruction ng opensa ng Fervid doon. Elvin is just a headache at this point. Probably the most annoying player to play against in the entirety of Southeast Asia. Itong si Elvin, no? Still holding yung dulo ng LA dito in hopes na papasok si Lance dito sa LA from CA or potentially sa spawn nila. At this point, Lance just looking for kills. He will not find anything. It's Virtus.pro who finds the round. 3-1. Sneaks in depensa dito. As expected, is stellar mula sa Virtus.pro. Early timeout. I like this from Fervid at least.
Yeah,
na maganda yung timing nila ng timeout.
Expected early timeout to, no, dito Dandom. Kasi, ayun nga, there's not really any control para dito sa Fervid sa mapa natin. Time and time again, gusto nila kumuha ng CA. Pero, it just seems like VP is finding a way to punish them even without yung kanilang direct contact, pare. The lineups, obviously, HE, everybody was on half by the time na magpipeak na dito yung players ng ating VP squad papunta dito sa mid. And, ayun nga, no, Fervid are kind of stuck. Okay nga yung kanilang setup, no? They get to their setups in time, but can they get to their setups with good enough health bars, no, pare? Virtus.pro, I feel like they know what step 1 and step 2 and step 3 is dito sa mapa natin for Fervid. And it seems like they're trying to get the punish around step 2 namin kung saan naka-fully commit na sila dito sa site take, and it is, you know, everybody is lining up, pero bigla na lang kasing may mambabatok sa'yo dito, man, eh.
Exactly. More often than not, it's Elvin. Minsan si Kellar yun sa mid, but at the same time, it's Virtus.pro. It's a big headache para sa Fervid, no? They keep trying to control that CA. Apart from that one round, they haven't been able to successfully do so. And part of the reason why is hindi nila binibigyan ng priority yung LA dito, eh, no? I mean, I feel like they could challenge that a little bit more. Put Lance nakaantabay doon, wait for potential push from Elvin, or just watch yung ilalim ng CA dito. But at the same time, it can't be that straightforward kapag Virtus.pro, no? That's the thing. It's always a quiz. It's always a challenge kung anong gagawin mo laban sa team na to. Especially when they're feeling comfortable like this. Again, we go back to that scenario, no, na hindi necessitated yung pag-pop off ni Zetra or ni Yobib or anyone for that matter. Because it's the setup doing the bidding para sa Virtus.pro.
Yun nga. You know, it's crunch time, no? Nung pinalabas na dito yung sinajam in the background, pare, FERVID. They want that full focus and they need that full focus, pare. Especially up against Virtus.pro na it just kind of feels like it's a puzzle that is shuffling itself again and again, pare. And as soon as you are so close to solving it, no, bigla na lang mag-iiba yung anyo ng ating Virtus.pro defense. And what form are they gonna take today, pare? Or this round rather, it is gonna be Elvin on top A. And tignan mo naman to, men. The attempt of getting mid control. Pero nung nakapasok na sila, men, di nila namalayan si Elvin na andito pa sa CA.
Exactly. What makes this even more deadly compared sa last map natin, no? Virtus.pro, nag-i-inject na sila ng mini aggressions. Z push mula kay Yobib kanina, Elvin pushing LA. And for Vid, it kind of feels like they're letting Virtus.pro do these things. Kasi kulang sila sa map control in every single round. Heavy B presence para naman sa Virtus.pro sa ngayon. So the CA push might not be too bad of an idea, pero parang nagbago na ng strat ang FERVID eh.
I think they're trying to spot where Zetra is dito sa mapa natin, pare. And earlier he was on A, pero nandito na siya sa B. That is the TRT shot rigging, pare. Dracifer will take out Zetra, pero mahirap pa rin kumuha ng LB control, knowing na nandito pa rin si KSA. So FERVID got what they wanted. 4 versus 4. Granted na walan ng ulo dito si Lance, but still it's a sniper for sniper. And not sure if pupulutin to ni KSA anytime soon. I think Yobib is a bit tempted to do so, no? Para may sniper presence pa rin yung mapa natin, but I think if FERVID are gonna go A site, dapat ma-insta-give nila tong si Elvin, pare. The moment he starts playing for life dito, men, doon na sila mahihirapan.
Or if they want to explore mid, kailangan si Yobib yung mahuli nila. The only mid anchor. Yobib down, pwede silang dumiretso sa Ares, so mag-reposition si Yobib ng mas safe dito sa curve.
He's gone back.
And yeah, he's going back and forth dito, Yobib na. A bit of a risky preposition para sa kanya. A7J, I think has been spotted. At yun na nga. Nahuli na naman si Kapitan Dracifer making impact dito sa LB. And that is the B-side push that FERVID looking for. 30 seconds. Pero yung bomba, napalayo ng konti. Dracifer struggling to push. Yobib, Elvin, tatlong kaharap niya. And Dracifer will go down. Ay, the window has disappeared. At least nakapasok ng A-site si MZ.
Yeah, he's gonna have to go push this exit side. No, hindi siya pwede mag-steady lang dito sa site natin. Kasi,
oh no!
Ayun na yung sinasabi ko, you're giving VP too much space in the map, MZ. At wala ng oras para umakyat, para i-plant itong C4. Elvin will not even die. And FERVID trying to go red time strategies dito sa mapa natin. Pero Virtus.pro, they have already seen that time and time again kasi stilo nila yun eh.
Exactly. Even with the smoke, FERVID, false sense of security. And Virtus.pro, ultimo spam tumatama. Parang may X-ray vision sila dito sa mapang ito. That's the comfort. That is the experience that Virtus.pro has in port. And Yobib for the longest time just holding mid. I told you, Sneaks, it was an important hold para kay Yobib. At sakto, alam niya na may isang lalapit doon. Susubok. A7J, Yobib knows.
Wala pang mainit galing dito sa FERVID whatsoever, no? So isn't really anyone that we can assign to be the catalyst for change para dito sa FERVID squad. And this is what I was worried about, no? Tadum, the start on BL, if it doesn't go really well, if you don't get at least 1 or 2 early rounds, pare, mahihirapan ka talaga dito. And the amount of confidence na meron dito yung VP, look at where KSA is. He's all the way right next to Courtman, and one flash could probably kill anyone that is standing here.
And we've seen these setups mula sa Virtus.pro. We know na meron sila mga ganung lineup. KSA usually doesn't need that. That's the 1. That's the 2 almost. And that is the second kill for KSA bago siya malaglag. Lance, finally, the trade is there. But at this point, damage done again mula sa Virtus.pro. And A7J, nakuha niya yung CA. Pero yung depensa ng Virtus.pro maganda pa rin. Despite KSA going down, I don't think nag-flash doon yung VP, no? Nag-peek lang talaga yung FERVID kay KSA and he got the double kill.
Pero Zetra, oh, yoy, what a shot there from Lance.
There you go.
Tamang balikat lang nakita dito from Zetra on the A-side position. Pero A7J, gusto niyang guluhin itong A-site natin. Angle is pretty bad para dito kay Kellar. He's exposed from the long side. Pero A7J naman yung nakatalikod dito now. He can take this exit side. At nakuha ni Lance yung nasa metal box. Elvin could have been the guy ending this entire round para dito sa FERVID, but there is not much time to operate dito sa mapa natin. Yobib not spotted sa CA. Lance looking in the wrong direction. Now looking right. And makukuha niya nga ang tira dito kay Yobib. Kellar, the only one left alive. What can the captain do? MZ nasa top A. Spotted. Tagged up. Pero nasa na ang reaction dito ni Lance. Crowd speak galing kay Kellar. Almost actually getting MZ. I saw the damage sa HP. Pero buti na lang MZ with the better timing.
And the man to make it happen na naman dito, Sneaky, is Lance, the old reliable sniper ng FERVID, taking down Zetra. That's the first time na na-challenge ng FERVID yung mid-hold dito ng Virtus.pro. And you can see the impact immediately. Elvin going down in top A. FERVID finding confidence and finding Elvin.
Grabe, 8K pa yung gamit nila, no? Pangkuha dito ng player sa top A.
Exactly.
So, not what was in my bingo card, no? Pag sa mga top 8 takes na nakuha nga natin dito. But that is one way to kinda force yung 2-2 in between yung A at yung B sides nga natin, pare. And now is high time for FERVID to wait kasi usually pag ganito na yung sitwasyon, pare, any other team would try to look for a trade in return. Pero Virtus.pro, what kind of way yung gagawin nila, pare, para makuha nila yung numero ulit?
I'm looking at Yobib and KSA, itong dalawa. Kind of the trigger-happy boys ng Virtus.pro. Not to discredit their firepower or anything like that, no? But usually, when it comes to finding space, finding kills, it's these two you look forward to. Lalo na kapag wala na si Elvin. But they're not gonna peek. As you mentioned, Sneaks, they're just gonna hold by dito sa B site. Hold on for dear life habang nag-iingay yung FERVID. Still in BR. No movement yet. But they do have the luxury of time, 1 minute and 2 para gumalaw ang FERVID.
Pop flash para kay MZ, papasok ng Z, bulag na bulag dito si Yobib, still gets him! And I think si Yobib, he saw the flash at the last second and flicks his mouse down, so he's not that blinded in that position. Dracifer finally get the KSA dito sa LB, and Dracifer nagmamadali na pumasok dito na B-side, pero Yobib not gonna be swinging that corner anytime soon. Kellar instead looking for the bigger fish na nasa loob na spawn. A7J getting absolutely pelted, pero nandito na yung ibang kasama ng FERVID to try and get Kellar out of his position, and he makes it all the way into Z with 1 HP. Zetra having to be the one that saves it, pero nasobrahan sa quick switch, pare. And A7J will be getting Kellar, and I would say, no, Tito Dadom, this is not a bad half to play into kung kaya yung FERVID. It's a 6-3 at most.
Absolutely. And FERVID, yung ebb and flow nila in that mid-round, is exactly the FERVID playstyle that we're looking for. Virtus.pro cracking off the back of the aggression ni Yobib. Pwede siyang hindi mag-peek sana dun sa Z. No? After getting the crucial kill of the mid player, nag-peek ulit siya dun sa B-site entrance, and he fell off, or fell down rather after the fact. Virtus.pro getting out mid-rounded by FERVID. That's what we like to see. We have a game in our hands, Ito Sneaks. But you still have to remember, Virtus.pro pa rin ang lamang in this affair. On the GR side, of course. Napa-timeout na si Coach. Looking at some big issues. Kasi napupuntirya na dito yung ilan sa mga players ng Virtus.pro. Kanina si Zetra nahuling ni Lance. This time, it was Elvin. And there lies the issue for Virtus.pro. How do they not give the early kill anymore?
Ayun nga. It seems like that's not the objective here, no? Para dito sa Virtus.pro, I feel like they just want to make the most robust defense as possible dito sa side ng mapa nila, and whatever happens na lang, kung may ingay na nangyari sa mid, they're gonna set up for something, maybe a 3-man peak, pero, you know, it feels like FERVID, they're also doing the push-pull dito sa mapa nga natin. They're also successfully finally baiting yung mga players papasok dito. You can also see the confidence kind of rolling back in their way, no? Kasi ayun nga, the 4-man peak on towards LA. It does take a bit of balls to actually call that one, no, pare? Pero yun yung kailangan natin makita. Galing dito sa FERVID, not gonna lie. I mean, a bit more confidence, a bit more brashness, a bit more aggressiveness galing sa kanila, pare. And especially VP now, yun nga, no, in a weakened state compared sa nakita natin sa mga ibang port maps. Yun nga, no, might be high time for FERVID for some redemption para sa kanila, men.
Exactly. They have found their window for Vid. It is time to make the most out of it and potentially padikitin pa yung score natin going into the second half. As you said, pwede na yung score na 3-6. What would be even better if makapag 4-5 tayo or potentially even 5-4. Round number 7 pa lang naman tayo dito as the timeout stands. We go into round number 8 and FERVID have a chance na maidikit ang score dito sa round na to. Right after the timeout, FERVID, what is the move? Lots of movement. Papasok ng B-side. Dire-diretso sila dito, Sneaks. And they are not cutting any noise whatsoever. A7J making contact kay Yobib. Diretso house B. And Virtus.pro respecting that, not peeking, not a single one. Yobib just holding the angle sa Z. And A7J pushing him, pressuring him. Yobib staying alive for now and he will be going down. Pero si Kellar nakasilip, finding the trade.
Yeah, he's also looking into that Z-hole window, no pare, just in case that there is a secondary player na gusto pumunta dito. D now taking his brother's place. Kellar has to be careful about his foot. Granted na HK lang yan pare, pero dire-diretso yung pagkatira niyan pare, especially in his hands. So, a 4 versus 4. I like this though, galing sa FERVID min. 5-man take in towards LB at doon na lang lalabas yung default nyo kung if ever makuha nyo nga. And yun nga, no, I feel like the death volley kind of style definitely can counter whatever Virtus.pro is doing at the moment, which is sitting and waiting pare, but also poking and prodding from time to time. Pero FERVID, with a bit of space in the map, pare, they are gonna try to go for an ace split. Sige, man. Why not?
Yes. And I think also FERVID na-realize nila yung hesitancy ni Yobib na ibigay yung Z, no? They were right. They pushed him. At the same time, wala din naman siyang pwedeng takbuhan, eh, no? So Yobib making the most out of his scenario, but unfortunately, na-overwhelm siya. Kellar? Oh, yun lang, nahuli si Lance, and that mid push is gone. The LA push is gone as well. Elvin on the double, and it's MC na mag-isa. KLR mula sa itaas, KSA mula sa exit, and it will just be KLR natatapos sa round na ito. The push in mid, unsuccessful, at nabulilya. So yung mid-round ng FERVID.
Yeah, got absolutely gobsmacked dun ng ating Virtus.pro team, and despite a very good opening galing dito sa FERVID, no, nakuha na nila yung LP control, but it kind of just seems like VP knows the counter to it. And dahil ka nahuli dito si Lance cannot spot where Kellar is on the A side of the map. Napakadali na lang yan para kay LV, no? I feel like this is, or not even a feeling, this is one of his favorite spots dito sa ating mapa ng port.
For sure.
And for good reason, para he just knows how to play the timing.
If anything, Elvin, one of the best players, in my opinion, in terms of timing, in terms of when to push, when not to push, when to peek. Yobib back in Z. Hindi niya na talaga papakawalan to in all the GR rounds. As it stands, no, siguradong lamang na ang Virtus.pro going into the second half, but FERVID have a chance to make it a little bit more doable paglipat nila ng GR in this last round of the half. Looking at any changes in setup mula sa Virtus.pro, reserve it yung angles, ha. They're more willing to give up CA this time, and FERVID are gonna make advantage of that.
I feel like i-allow nila yung CA because there's a mid-peak happening. And here's the
Ayun
mid-peak,
na.
pare. Yobib,
Nakita.
Kellar, top down in their position. A7J trying to play distraction as well.
What?
Mid-peak yata to, galing kay Kellar, or he is just gonna allow itong si Yobib to try and see if he can get his way into this one. Hindi na itatapon. MZ setting up the smoke para dito sa bridge cross. And into the spawn, rather. So, let us see. Tracifer, flash into Z. Diretso na lang dito, men. Pero nasak siya dito sa pinto. Massive damage from the Z player. Pero
Oy!
Kellar with the spray. Nakuha na rin dito si A7J. Tracifer with the USP. Yobib, spotting itong si MZ. Pero top A, hindi pa nasa kamay dito ng FERVID. Oh my God, what an HC! Galing kay D. Tracifer getting Zetra. 2 versus 2. Napaikot na yung mapa, pare. Pero tignan mo nasa nakadrop yung C4.
Yobib nasa CA, pero yung C4 nasa RS dito ng Virtus.pro, and Yobib strikes Lance! Hindi nakatingin sa tamang anggulo, at si KSA doon din ang galing sa hindi alam ni Dracifer. Virtus.pro striking at the right areas. Absolute map control. Kahit na hindi binigay ng FERVID yung Z, they still had control to rotate Yobib papunta ng CA and KSA towards RS. Man, this is absolutely deadly yung GR side dito ng Virtus.pro. Going into the second half, 6-3. Established ang lead ng VP.
Yun nga, no? Virtus.pro now on the BL side of the map. And this is where most innovations did come from dito sa port nga natin. And we are gonna see it on full display up against itong FERVID. I would expect itong FERVID, no, to yun nga, no, still have that same brashness pagdating nga dito sa GR side natin. You know, constantly fighting for LB, constantly fighting for CA control, at merong laging lumalaban dito sa mid para sa kanila. Kasi pag nabigyan mo talaga itong Virtus.pro ng CA or Z control, only even temporarily, no, pakaramdam ko pa diyan malaking pagkakamali, as that could be a launch pad para sa kanilang, you know, execute or possible fake papunta dito sa A at B. So I would want to see that classic denial, no, dito sa mapa natin from the side of FERVID na, you know, you're just blocking off opportunities na usually kinukuha nga dito ng Virtus.pro.
Begs the question, how are they gonna get that? Maybe A7J sniper? Maybe a push from Dracifer? Or something along the lines of a mimic ng playstyle ng Virtus.pro kanina. We'll have to wait and see as we set up or rather the second half of the set. Pero si Coach, kita mo naman kanina, no, still very hands-on in every scenario para dito sa Virtus.pro as we head into the game again. Dracifer, LA control para sa Virtus.pro, hindi pa nila nakukuha. And ito yung stark contrast, no, for Vid, putting a lot more priority for CA on their GR side.
Pero Zetra, a little bit of a gap in the smoke. On the left side of bridge though, pero wala pa siya nakikita dito, pare. A7J could be the biggest mistake of your entire game. And the one time na gusto nilang i-check kung may tao dito sa bridge or kung may tao dito sa right side ng BR. And he finally gets taken out. The brains of the operation para dito sa FERVID out of commission. And ano nga kaya yung adjustment dito ng FERVID? They are forced to start looking mid. They are forced to start looking para sa trade na to, pare. And ito yung gusto ng Virtus.pro.
Exactly. Lito is not having a good race leagues.
For sure.
Entire match. Info lang naman yung gusto ni Bossing, but Zetra hits him with a bullet straight to the cranium. Medyo erratic yung movement ng FERVID after losing A7J, which is kind of weird. Expect them to be a little bit more solid sa depensa nila. D, hoping to do just that, pero mag-isa siya sa loob ng B-site eh.
Yeah, 50 seconds. D on the inside of B, pero Elvin still a bit wary, no, na pwede pang may lumabas dito ng CA since wala pa silang CA control sa start ng round. Pero pabalik na nga yung VP dito sa B site. Yun nga, the one piece of information na nakuha nga nila kanina, A7J also does like to foray B from time to time. And pakiramdam nila, men, alam nila na mag-isa na lang si D dito sa loob ng B. Here comes the flashes, here comes the nades to try and counter kung ano man meron dito. Elvin will be getting Dracifer. D, one tap dito kay KSA, pero Yobib rounding the corner. Yobib, nice shot! And that is the trade that they needed para makapasok ng site. Luns on the curve side and will get sprayed down to the box. Yobib going crazy on B, and it's 3 against 1. It's 3 against MZ. And with 38 seconds left on the clock at may impormasyon pa siya, or may impormasyon pa yung VP kung saan siya bang gagaling dito, pare. This is looking like a done deal.
It is. That's exactly what it is para sa Virtus.pro, man. Nakita mo ba yung bait na ginawa nila doon? Naghagis sila ng isang granada sa LA, baiting out Dracifer to come out of CA. Siyempre, nakakaantabay ang Virtus.pro to catch him off guard. And that's where it fell apart para sa FERVID. Granted, D got a nice shot, but that is all he wrote. Even with Luns's help doon sa B site, Virtus.pro stretching out the timer and making use of every possible piece of utility dito sa ating round number 10. Bigger lead para sa Virtus.pro. And FERVID, what now?
Yun nga, no, D. From the Z side, usually this is where the most highlights come from, especially with the rifle, pare. Pero Zetra, he's made it out and he's made it in. Nice shot galing sa kanya, and MZ cannot do anything about it. Here's a spray galing kay Yobib, and instantly 3 fall para sa FERVID, and unfortunately the snowball breaks apart very quickly para dito sa FV. And Dracifer, Lons, the last 2 left alive, spotted the last player sa bridge. I don't even think they even need to plant at this point, as they're just gonna finish him off 8 and 3. And ito yung sinasabi natin, Tadum, the VPBL side, one of the hardest to beat dito sa mapa ng port.
It's ridiculous. It's clean. It's a compound all over again. And I respect D for the attempt, no? Kasi wala din naman siyang ibang option doon apart from try and find an impact before getting swarmed. Kaso, si Zetra yung early contact eh. And that is a scenario that you lose 10 times out of 10. The duel against the VP Sniper. 8-3. And we go back sa isang default ng Virtus.pro na tahimik ang mapa. And another showcase ng mga angulo support dito ng Sniper. Zetra waiting sa BR ng kalaban. A7J. Lalapit ka pa ba? A7J, no.
And yan, it's another case of the waiting game dito sa mapa natin, no, Dadum? And you can really see how slow the approach is para dito sa Virtus.pro. In some of these angles, pare. And I feel like they're also kind of thinking na, okay, since sobrang down na dito na FERVID, no, they really don't have much to lose when it comes to this map. So you would expect yung mga more aggressive angles galing dito sa Z or galing dito sa HP. Sure. Just like what we saw earlier, no? So crunch time na tayo, pare. This is the first time we've seen tong FERVID kind of displaying their side of the map. And Virtus.pro, opportunity na lang, men. Kung makuha nila yung CA or under bridge control, pwede silang kumuha ng B-split or pwede silang kumuha ng ating A-split as well.
Actually, a safer approach mula sa FERVID, no? I would expect the opposite. Take risks. They put D dito sa RS, and D finds the one. It's effective for now. A7J from BR finally finds his mark. KSA nalaglag. Yung entry ng Virtus.pro hindi gumana. In one of the first few rounds dito sa kanilang BL side, KLR nahuli din ni A7J. Impact kills for the brothers in arms. D and Angelito on the board. At napigilan ng Virtus.pro. Nagkukumahog papasok ng B site, House B. Pinasok na ni Elvin. Pero andito si Lance on the perfect angle. Flash coming out, MZ nagtatago. Lance hindi tumama, Elvin finds a shot. Pero andito si MZ to close off the round. FERVID. It worked. D defensive. And A7J fighting back.
Yeah, and I was thinking na that defense would not actually work from the side of FERVID, no? Considering na they don't usually operate well when it comes to yung more passive plays natin. But I feel like it wasn't passive at all. It was actually a trap para sa mga players ng Virtus.pro to kind of lull them into a false sense of security na okay, safe na tong kunin yung bottom side ng bridge and pwede na natin idiretso tong B site. And unfortunately para dito sa Virtus.pro, that is the wrong guess. Pero fortunately para sa Virtus.pro, they have a 4-point lead. So, they can try anything and everything under the sun at this point, pare, pagdating sa kanilang BL.
2 rounds away from winning, Sneaks. At is the Liberty. Meron dito ang FERVID. Ang Virtus.pro, rather. Tracifer. Throwing out an HE. Uy, still gets the shot onto Elvin. Pero pisuhan siya dito, ha. Still, crucial pick para dito. Sa FERVID, neutralizing the lurk of Virtus.pro. That's a big kill.
Yeah, what is the reaction here? Para sa Virtus.pro, no? Instant take dito sa LB. Tracifer being more aggressive than usual sa CA. That means weak side itong B side natin. And tama yung guess dito ng Virtus.pro. No players on LB whatsoever. And nabibigyan sila na kahit onting space para maglaro dito, pare. KLR or anyone on the side of VP. Kung makakuha sila ng pick dito and cause some disruption, this setup could fall apart very quickly. Tignan mo naman kung nasaan nakatingin. Itong si KSA is looking at CA. KLR first kill already. KSA expecting na lalabas dito si Tracifer. And KLR will take out MZ as well. Grabe, just when you thought you had the advantage, the map just flips around on your head.
And even the CA fight na 1v1 ni KSA tsaka ni Dre, nanalo pa rin si KSA. Inakyat niya yung hagdan. How has Virtus.pro done this? Ridiculous round. Lance, laban sa mundo, laban kay Zetra at KSA. Gets the shot, Zetra down. At si KSA kailangan magtago, waiting for KLR, the backup ng kapitan niya. Flash mula kay D to support Lance mula sa top A, pero kitang-kita ka dyan, D. Huwag ka nang lalabas. KSA matatimingan. KLR will be taken aback by D. And KSA sasagot tayo sa 1v1. Lance bumaba na. 10 seconds on the timer. KSA kailangan magtanim. Crunch time! And KSA delivers! para sa Virtus.pro.
Buti na lang may EBR siya dun sa moment na yun, no? Dadum, because yun nga, if that was an HK, he would have had a hard time trying to wallbang him out of that position. Pero KSA slipping on by, barely noticed na pagpasok ng kanyang smoke. And Virtus.pro on the precipice of 2-0ing itong FERVID team and giving us evidence na granted lumiit yung gap pare, but the evidence is dito sa mapa natin. It just seems like Virtus.pro, it just got wider. We didn't see it nung spring, but we're seeing it this summer pare.
Yep. Kahit nung Swiss stage wala, pero yung Virtus.pro making it known sa summer na sila pa rin ang hari dito sa Port D. Saying otherwise, triple kill on the hold. Dito sa B-side, hindi pa tapos ang laban ng FERVID. Tracifer jumping, killing Elvin. At si D, hindi pa tapos ang kwento niya dito laban sa Virtus.pro. Nagpapakilala laban kay Zetra.
Careful,
Ayun lang. Ayun lang.
I think as soon as you miss the first 2 shots dito kay Zetra pare, you just dip.
Yeah.
Kasi if it ain't the headshot, man, ayun nga, he's gonna flick his mouse around and somehow get you on that position. Pero Zetra, he'll be trying to separate 3 players from this equation for FERVID. Hindi na kailangan mag-push ng paharap dito kasi nasa kanila yung C4. Pero mabibigyan kasi ng oras itong si Zetra na magluto dito sa mapa natin. And if he can somehow find the presence of A7J na nakaupo lang dito sa spawn, this creates another possibility. And this is possibly the second time that Zetra will end the game with his clutch. That precedent, man, is quite tempting para sa kanya, pare.
Look at the util also. May flash, may smoke pa dito sa Zetra. Had plenty of time, pero ngayon 36 seconds na lang. A7J nasa kanan. Why clear? It's effective. Zetra!
Mag-EBR?
Switch of guns. And it's the bait of switch. FERVID, wala silang naririnig na kahit ano. MZ thinking na magagaling sa House B. Mali ang iniisip niya. And Tracifer will be saving it barely para sa FERVID. Zetra almost winning it all. FERVID staying alive for now, Sneaks.
Yeah, FERVID, kapit patalim lang dito sa mapa natin, but it just so happens that they do have the more favorable side of the map, which is itong GR. Grabe, the margins are getting thinner para sa mga ibang panalo dito, pare, and for sure, medyo na heart attack sila onte dito sa ating last round, knowing what Zetra is capable of. Onti na lang yun, actually an inch off from his double spray. Pero top A, nades, holy nades, 3 nades flying papunta dito ng top A, pare. FERVID sensing danger dito sa A side, pero alam ba nila na may nakadaan dito sa may ladder side. Tracifer doing the checking, but he checks the wrong thing. Bodega yung inuna niya. Yobib, mga aning na lang dito, pare. Look at Virtus.pro. They know that they can kind of use Yobib as the bait dito sa side, but is he even a bait if he keeps killing everyone? Dito sa mapa natin, Yobib! Even with the preemptive disrespect dito kay Lons, Zetra will be getting MZ, and D, a lost kid on port, and he just goes down. Virtus.pro with an absolute dominant series and also a statement to the rest of the league. Ayun nga, men, everybody doubted Virtus.pro in that last season, but the experimentation tapos na, men. This is the real deal.
And it's nobody else to make the final play. Yobib, the prince, is back. This is a beautiful showing mula sa Virtus.pro. Nakita mo ba yung pagpanalo ni Don Sneaky? They won the map the most Virtus.pro way possible. Triple lineup ng flashes dun sa top A para lang maipasok si Yobib. Absolutely wreak havoc. At siya yung distraction dapat. But then siya yung naging one-man army sa loob ng A side. Sneaks, hindi alam ng FERVID anong gagawin. And my God, they look lost this entire series. No disrespect to FERVID, pero ganyan ang what I like to call the Virtus.pro effect.
Yeah, and the Virtus.pro effect indeed. Yun nga, no, yung BL side, minention na natin sa simula pa lang ng ating game, no, na that will be a point of contention para dito sa Virtus.pro kasi hindi sila kagaya ng mga ibang teams dito sa liga natin where they do crumble pagdating dito sa PL. They have a whole game plan for that specific side of the map at kagana yan up against FERVID. FERVID granted though, no, maganda na yung kanilang adjustments na, you know, actively kinukuha nila dito yung LB pero actively kinukuha nila dito yung CA, but at the same time, Virtus.pro is also actively adjusting para sa mga adjustments nga dito ng FERVID, and that is really tough for A7J especially, no, na yun nga, you have to play that unpredictable style, and at the same time you also don't know what to expect pag papasok na kayo dito sa mga sites natin. Virtus.pro, yun nga, no, multiple setups dito sa mapa natin. You can see Zetra has played both sides and mid. So, gamit na gamit itong si Zetra, no, dito sa mapa ng port, and I feel like that kinda goes for the rest of the team as well. You can see Elvin dito sa A earlier, and then now he goes B, now he goes mid. You really don't know what to do at that moment, pare.
Exactly. Creativity and ingenuity at full display para dito sa Virtus.pro, showing us na sila pa rin ang top dogs dito sa port. Ano ba ang masasabi ng panelists natin dyan? Bipolar and Salvatore, take it away.
Maraming salamat, Sneaky Frog, pati na rin dito kay Dedom. What a matchup that was. That was a treat for lahat para sa atin. It was a treat for all of us because it was port and as well as new compound, no, napaka kakaibang map dito. Plus we saw port para sa ating dalawang teams na very dominant dito, pero what else is there to say kung bagay lang talaga dito ang Virtus Pro nila up against FERVID?
Well, you know, it's a huge difference from what we saw from Virtus.pro. Kung siguro Master Spring lang to, baka umabot pa tayo ng Eagle Eye, no? But nonetheless, this is Virtus.pro definitely rejuvenated, renowned, and rekindled themselves now as one of the top teams dito sa tournament na to, no? With only having a tough loss dito sa execration. They're still yet to face Team Stallions, pero tinanggal na nila lahat ng posibleng harang sa pwede pang dumagdag sa pagkatalo nga nila, no? Which is definitely FERVID. And by God, the Golden Boy is now back in his throne. Welcome, Yobib, sa pagbabalik mo nga dito into the fragging department. Marami kang na-miss out talaga ng mga tao, no? Hinahanap ka na ng mga kaalyado mo. Tulad na lang din dito nila KSA, nila Cetra, and even someone like no? And now Yobib is already back into that sitting once again, no? Bipolar and Virtus.pro did really utilize itong si Yobib, no? Not just only as a backup player, but he clearly is roaming around the map, taking space, throwing smokes para talaga mapaganda at mapalago ng Virtus.pro yung lahat ng plays lang talaga nila, ano. And like I said, this is a refined Virtus.pro, and even the identity na binubuo nila is very much impressive. This is FERVID that had to start in a side that was really, really tough, no? Considering na kailangan nga nilang pagbutihin yung kailangan nilang pagbutihin yung pag-a-attacking nga nila. They did get a good enough rounds, pero nung lumipat naman sila, parang ganun pa rin, no? They still struggled, at ganun nga talaga ang kinalabasan nito, no? Bipolar. It was Virtus.pro just all over the map, duel after duel na ipapanalo ng VP.
Yun ang parang naging all-arounder din talaga dito si Yobib, and that is why he had 16 kills, 9 deaths, and 3 headshots. 93%, second highest shot na in the server. 14 the kills and 9 deaths naman dito si Kellar, no? The IGL. It feels like he'll be the one that he'll be interviewing later on, no? Pero big ups din dito kay Cetra. Talagang there were some insane shots na talagang kahit si FERVID, kahit si Lance, wala siya magawa sa mga ganitong kind of engagements. But it needed dito sa FERVID na mag-step up si Dracifer, our second caller for the squad, na mag-step up, pero wala talagang you saw it clearly, no? GSI pa lang dito ng Virtus.pro, nasa-shoutout agad nila si A7J, pati na rin tong si Lance, pati si MZ dito from sheer wallbangs. Bago pa makapag-execute, bago pa makasetup dito ang FERVID, ubus na agad sila ng isa or dalawa, at naging mahirap yun kasi BL side is pretty tough, and right now VP just claiming a 2-0 win. What an impressive series we have. Pero syempre, let's give it up, let's give some applause dito sa ating MVP for the set. It's gonna be Kellar with a 1.56 KD, a kill per round that is insane, and of course, a rating na almost 100 na rin.
Well, definitely well played para dito kay KLR, no? Hindi niya nakakalimutan talaga yung kanyang role and his ability to spread out. Ito nga ginagawa talaga ng Virtus.pro, no? Not just on a IGL perspective, but also to a player na paminsan-minsan din nagbumuka ng ang attacker, no? KLR is definitely delivering the ranks up against FERVID, no? And we definitely saw yung effort naman talaga ng FERVID to actually double pick each and every member dito ng Virtus.pro, but little to no avail talaga, no? Multiple clutches, no? Multiple presences ng Virtus.pro sa loob nga ng port is definitely too much for FERVID to handle. At nakita naman natin yung success rate ng Virtus.pro. Pag nakuha nila yung man advantage, it's a guaranteed round.
Yeah, it's a guaranteed 100%. It's a guaranteed win para dito sa Virtus.pro. Pero yun na nga, a total of 10-3 and as well as 10-5. So 88 rounds para dito sa FERVID. Meanwhile, 20 ang nag-garner dito ng ating Virtus.pro. You know what? Akala ko nga talaga makakapuntos pa dito FERVID. Pero sabi ng Virtus.pro, tapos ng hibernation. Right now, let's look at our series MVP or match MVP for the entire 2 sets. I feel like we know kung sino nga to, no? It's none other than Killer IGL, the man himself. Pero tignan mo naman yung rating dito ni Kellar. Lahat yan sobrang solid.
Man, he finished the series with a flat 2.08 KD, pre. That says a lot. Ganyan siya ka-effective, ganyan siya kung malala pumatay, no? To average a 2.08 KD just means na, man, high kill game talaga para dito kay Kela. Take a look at the highlights sa loob ng new compound and inside of port. Nothing short of impressive para dito kay Kela, no? And he really knows how to play beyond his role, no? Hindi lang siya nagtatawag, hindi niya lang mina-micromanage kung saan pupwesto si Yobib, saan pupwesto si KSA. He knows the timings ng mga kalaban nga nila, no? And this is mastery at its finest talaga, Bipolar. At inabsolute na talaga ni Kellar na he is indeed, if not, one of the best IGLs dito sa tournament na to.
I feel like 2-match MVPs, 2-set MVPs, pati na rin entire series MVP is gonna be cementing him in that spot comfortably, no? Kellar, alam natin yan. Kahit sa anong pang mapa ilagay mo si Kellar, he will be fragging together with Cetra and as well as Yobib, no? So talagang he is hunting everybody down and everybody is a target and something to check out at ma-headshot or mabarag dito gamit yung kanyang mga baril. But yeah, 2-0 Salvatore. Alam mo, in-expect mo ba na possible maging 2-0 to? Kasi parang Virtus.pro, they're here to make a statement and I feel like the statement is to dominate as well.
Highly expected, hindi ko nga rin iniisip, no? Baka di lang talaga ako nag-iisip at the time nung hiningan ako ng predictions dito, no? Ba't nga ba 2-1 yung nilagay ko? Kasi nga from the recent performances ng FERVID, sa pinakita ng Virtus.pro ng mga nakaraan nga nilang laban, parang naglolokohan na lang talaga tayo dito, no? Parang dapat ata lahat ng laban ng Virtus.pro, iti-0 na nga natin, kasabay ng Team Stallions. Ganun talaga, no? Like Virtus.pro is just at that level right now, Bipolar.
Yun na nga, Virtus.pro at their top tier performance at ngayon makakasama natin ang top tier IGL ngayon sa Masters. It's none other than Virtus.pro's finest, Kellar, on the interview desk. Kellar,
Hello guys! Hello!
Congratulations sa inyo, brother. What a performance mula sa inyo.
Thank you. Chamba?
Solid, no? Ayan naman tayo, boss. Tsama, akala ko, iba ka sa mga na-interview namin kanina, no? Pero Bipolar, simulan ko na sa pagtatanong dito, no? Kellar, nung Master Spring, meron kang sinabi na tumatak sa mga tao na parang hanggang ngayon ata binibring up pa. Quote on quote, sabi mo, pag ikaw nag-top rank, ibig sabihin noobs ang kalaban, FERVID yung kalaban nyo. Isa sa mga nire-respeto talaga dito sa ligang to. Ngayon ba, binabawi mo ba yun o feeling mo parang ganun pa rin naman talaga? No? Parang ibang FERVID ba yung nakita mo?
Wala ganun pa rin yun eh. Yung ibig ko sabihin dun nagkataon, gumana ako sa kanila, anong gagawin natin? Ibig sabihin, yun lang yun. Yun na yun.
Simple lang, no? Talagang kung ano yung isipin nyo, yun na lang. Basta gumagana.
Hindi, marami kasing dumarating na na alam mo na yung sabi-sabi, yung sino-sino, rivalry daw yung FERVID. Sa nakita ko, parang di naman.
Dali, sakit dun sa puso, no? Salvi, grabe yun.
Sakit dito, no? Ang sakit dito, Bipolar.
Dito tama, oh. Dito tama. Sa Jogular. Alam mo, Kellar, amazing, mula sa'yo, isa ka sa mga top IGLs natin dito and I would like to ask you a little bit of questions pero specifically for Virtus.pro kasi Virtus.pro is looking better than ever, mapa-port man yan, mapa-Ankara, mapa-Eagle Eye, parang walang butas, walang kahit anumang pagkakamali. And nakausap nga namin si 02 beforehand na parang VP wants to be the standard and since parang wala naman kailangan baguhin pa or parang lahat na palyadong talagang goods na goods, what's there left na kailangan pang baguhin dito ng Virtus.pro? Kasi you're already looking pretty good. I feel like meron pa kayong hinahabol.
Siguro baguhin namin yung yung baguhin namin. Sa nakikita ko ngayon, parang wala na nga rin kagaya ng nakikita nyo, pero sa akin, marami pa talagang dapat baguhin. Dahil minsan, sa laro na yun, dami ko pang di nakukol na maayos. Kakataon lang, nasasalo kami nung maayos na comms namin.
So individually, no, Kellar, parang yun na lang siguro yung kailangan pa natin i-polish, no? Salvi.
So, solid no, KLR. Actually, ito yung mga sa mga pinakamaangas na performances ng Virtus.pro, no. Kasunod lang din ito yung ginawa nyo kahapon sa Atras. Pero hindi rin din tumagal, nakaranas din kayo ng malubang pagkatalo mula sa Execration. Pero less on that, ano bang natutunan natin doon sa series nyo with Execration at paano to nakatulong para durugin nyo talaga yung mga naging kalaban nyo?
Siguro nagkaroon kami ng wake up call dun sa Execration. Ganyan lang siguro nung dahilan nila nung dun sa Madya sa gutom sila. Nung time na yun, nasa amin yun, nung kalaban namin sila.
Talagang,
Talaga yun, no? May silver lining pa rin talaga ang mga pagkatalo dito. No? Follow-up question na lang din dito, KLR. Di rin tatagal, mga ilang tulog na lang din, makakalaban nyo na ang Team Stallions. And tulad lang din ninyo, nakaranas nga din sila ng isang malaking hadlang sa pagkatalo din ng Execration. Nung nakita nyo ba yun, KLR, parang tumataas na nga ba yung kumpiyansa ni Virtus.pro matalo ang Team Stallions dito sa group stage? O tingin nyo parang medyo mahihirapan pa rin ba kayo?
Tingin ko pa rin, parehas kami mahihirapan. Kasi parehas kami bibigyan namin ng magandang laban yung isa't isa. Kumbaga, para sa inyo rin, sa mga viewers, sa caster, sa lahat.
Okay. Alam mo, Kylar, may isa pa akong tanong, no, connecting with that, malapit na labanan nyo with STS. Hindi naman kasi, alam ko naman, sa vision ng Virtus.pro, lahat dito kalaban, walang top 1, kayo yung top 1, right? Is it possible na parang, dama na ba ni KLR that the trophy will be theirs this time around?
Oh, ito na nga, nakatabi ko na nga yung trophy.
Ay, ayan!
Dito na!
Ayun na pali!
Ba't pa tayo nagsistream kung pwede naman palang ipakita na lang ni KLR yung trophy, no? But KLR, again, congratulations, brother. Match MVP plus a win here up against FERVID ESPORTS. Anyone that you wanna shout out? Oras na para pasalamatan ng kailangan pasalamatan.
Maraming salamat nga pala sa mga sa mga fans tsaka sa mga basher. Maraming salamat sa inyo. Shoutout nga po pala sa manager namin kay Pilali at sa CEO namin si Virtus.pro. Thank you po sa pagsuporta sa amin. Ganon din sa asawa ko tsaka sa asawa ng mga team ko, mga magulang nila. Maraming salamat po sa suporta niyo. Sa girlfriend ko pala, advance happy birthday. Ikaw yung pinakamahal kong problema.
Yun. Basta naman dun. Grabe.
Ito pa pala, yung coach ko.
Go!
Shoutout sa'yo. Mabuhay kang hanggat gusto mo.
Yun. Sabihin, matagal pa nating makikita si 02. Siguro habang buhay pa natin makikita si 02 dahil sa bati na yun, bipolar.
Nako po, nakaka-excite na yung mga susunod pang journey dito na ating Virtus.pro. Feeling ko, dadahid na naman yan dun sa may Mega Mall, tapos kakain na naman sila ng Shake Shack kasi dinedemand ni KLR. So again, congratulations KLR sa mga panalo nyo ngayong araw. Hopefully tuloy-tuloy na to. So thank you, brother. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, brother.
Yun ang Salvatore, what an interview actually. Ang dami nating nag-garner doon mula kay Keller, no? Parang hindi may aangas pa rin na nanggagaling dito sa Virtus.pro, pero parang ako lang ba, pero dama ko yung parang handa na sila sa kahit anumang bakbakan na ilalahad dito sa harap nila eh.
Tapos yun, bipolar, no? Magiging fruitful nga talaga lahat ng interviews natin basta si KLR yung sasagot niyan eh. No? Kita mo nga naman, meron tayong nakitang KLR na okay, ito nga pala yung evil side niya, tapos sinabi niya, pareho naman silang mahihirapan laban sa Team Stallions kasi pareho na nga sila ng level ngayon. So yun yung inaabangan talaga natin, no? That last match of the group stage. And definitely, sa dalawang forma ng Stallions at ng Virtus.pro, parang magiging dikdikan nga talaga to.
Yeah, at saka magiging masarap ang labanan na yun, Salvatore. So you better watch out for that even more. Pero ngayon, meron na tayong updated standings para makita ano nga ba ang pagkatapos ng araw na to after 6 teams did fight all throughout. Looking at it, mayroong tumaas, mayroong bumaba, pero Virtus.pro claims the number 1 spot.
And followed by Team Stallions, pero wala pa naman tayo dun sa pinnacle talaga ng mga matches natin no? Mayroon pang 3 matches dito ang Virtus.pro, ang Comeback Friends, dalawa na nga lang acceptance. Tinan mo, isa na nga lang yung match nga nila, no? And that's definitely a must win. Tignan mo naman ang binaba ng FERVID dito, my goodness.
Grabe.
Pre, 1 slot outside of the playoff bracket at parang mainit na yung upuan dun ng acceptance no? Kita mo nga naman FERVID FERVID with that head-to-head to acceptance. Dahil nga natalo nga sila, FERVID now needs to win 3 consecutive matches in a row and acceptance to lose at least 1 doon sa magiging huling laban nga nila para mag-qualify ang FERVID at ang matches masecure din nila ang spot nga nila. And ayoko sabihin na medyo alanganin na acceptance pero parang gano'n na nga kasi papaalala ko lang ang huling match na acceptance, Team Stallions.
Yeah, yun na nga nakahirap, no, Salvatore. Itong mga players natin for match and FERVID and as well as acceptance, talaga mahirap ng labanan nila going all throughout. Pero we do see them getting hopeful by the day. Pero tomorrow's schedule is here right now in front of your faces. Unang labanan natin will be Veteran Execration and I am so excited para sa labanan na ito. We have Taring Babin as well as STS at sa pinakadulo, isa na namang harang para dito sa FERVID. Can they win up against Atras with the hope of JK?
Alalaman nga natin no? MC versus JK, huling pagtapat nga nito was during Swiss pa at nakuha ng FERVID ang solidong panalo doon. Pero with the form of FERVID right now at sa pinakitang panalo ng Atras kanina, baka pwede na nga maging multo na nga siya ng nakaraan para sa Atras at babago na nga ang present time here for Atras Esports. But nonetheless, now our Rosea brothers will be in action for tomorrow and I couldn't even be more excited para dito sa Taring Bobby at Veteran. No? Taring Bobby had an amazing day today and what more pa kaya sa Veteran after that series with Atras, man. What a successful day that we have right now. Bipolar, lahat ng matches solido.
Yeah, solid na solid. Alam mo, maraming sugatan at maraming nagre-recover pa lang dito sa ating mga labanan with these 6 teams, no? Pero bukas panibagong 6 na teams maglalaban-laban. So, better watch out kasi it's gonna be an interesting action, especially with the Rosé teams getting up into their levels. Pero Salvatore, bago ko i-throw off ito para makapagpahinga ng ating mga katauhan dito sa CROSSFIRE, any people that you would like to thank?
Maraming salamat sa aking family and as well as to our community na walang sawang sumusuporta para sa larangan ng CFSC. Shoutout nga pala dito sa Flow na Clan and as well as to Auxilium Clothing, ang sponsor ng aking damit nga ngayon, and as well to Sunday Shrooms, Boss J-Bice. Maraming salamat sa pagsuporta and as well as to our production. Maraming salamat. Napakasolid nga naman ng mga game observers natin kanina and it was a very smooth day para sa ating mga talents. So yun lang naman sa akin guys. Kita-kits bukas kasi napakasolid nga ng mga laban kaya gugustuhin ko, nakasama ko kayo na makikita lahat ng kaguluhan.
Ayun nga, no, Salvatore. Bukas magsasama-sama ulit tayo. But of course, gusto ko rin pasalamatan dito si Drones coming in from Veteran. He is very much, happy with their performance despite them having a little bit of a loss. Big shoutout to Sir Alex coming in from Spaghetti and as well as kay Sir Mark. It's also a big shoutout na rin kay Boss Devil, no, na nakikihalubilo pa rin kahit na he is just live streaming right now. And kapatid rin kay Ate Jonah, since I did just remember, nag-live pa rin naman siya ngayon. But everyone right now out there sa buong CROSSFIRE community natin, keep the fire burning kasi nakikita nyo naman that everyone is improving and it's time para dominahin na natin ang buong worldwide region. Hindi lang to Pilipinas, oras na para umangat tayo lahat-lahat. Again, coming in for the panel desk, ako po si By Portugal with Salvatore. Big shoutouts din dito sa ating TNC Prod and TNC Group. We love you so much. And sa ating mga office, thank you very much. See you next time.